Okay, no, it's not. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Hello, what is happening? TGIF, everyone, and Merry Christmas Eve. Or is it Happy Christmas Eve? I don't know. But whichever one you decide it is, whichever one is correct politically, That's the one I'm going with. How about that? Yes. Hope you guys are doing well. So many people are adults now. They're really not into the Christmas spirit like they used to be. But you may have little ones still running around, grandchildren and stuff, and you may have a little duty to do. And hey, you want to make them happy. So enjoy. Thank you guys for spending your time, giving a little time here. We do have a show for you tonight, and it was planned out, and I think you would like it. I really do. And I will tell you. Um, oh, let me tell you about Chicago. It is 55 degrees as of right this moment. 55 degrees, December 24th. Let me repeat that. December 24th. Yes, it is 2021, but it doesn't matter because December in Chicago, 55 degrees? Are you kidding me? This is a heat wave. And anytime it's very warm like that, and trust me, that's spring for us. Oh, this is wonderful. This is like I don't know. You can just take some layers off, put on maybe just a light jacket, and that's it. You don't need much. So this is like a heat wave for us. And trust me, I'm enjoying it, except for in my apartment because it's a little bit too warm. So I am trying to figure out how uncomfortable will I be trying to go to sleep tonight. But I guess I'll deal with that in a few hours. Anyway, unfortunately, the crime has increased. I don't know why. That is not a nice thing. And ooh, I don't know what happened to my picture. I see it. I mean, I see it, but I don't see it. I'm gonna go out and come back in and see if that helps. It might just be a YouTube thing. We'll see. Anyway, let me continue. You hear it's me. Let's see. We had a shooting in Oak Brook Mall, and it is a very nice mall, I tell you. And I'm really disappointed because it was, I think it was Danteezy's cousin. Yeah, that's who it was. It was Danteezy's cousin acting a fool up in there. And there was four shot. It was three women and a suspect. And there is one shooter on the loose. And he has some dreads and stuff. And he ran off. They couldn't catch him, but they're still looking for him. And we'll see if they find him. That is terrible. It really is. I really hate that happened. I mean, folks just doing their last minute shopping Wednesday night, and man, that's just ridiculous. Anyway, what else? Let me see. Actually, that was yesterday. I said Wednesday, but it's so much back to back, I can't even keep up. On Wednesday at 11 p.m., there was some ATM techs. They were robbed, and they were in a nice area. Didn't mean anything. They were, you know, robbed of their money from the machines, and they got away. So hopefully they'll find those guys because they always pair up in twos. So they may find them. They wrestled with the armed guards, and unfortunately, they end up getting that man's weapon because it was a man. They end up getting his weapon, taking it from him. So, but at least no one was injured, so that's a good thing. Also, Wednesday downtown, a couple of stores they hit. They hit the high end stores. Nice, bright downtown. I'm telling you, it was Prada. They wanted up some handbags and Hermes. Is that how you pronounce it? They grabbed a couple of those bags too. I'm like, wow. So it's just been robbery after robbery, and it's just a hot mess. And I don't even know what happened in Oak Brook Mall. I think that was more personal than anything. I don't think that was a robbery. I think one guy didn't like the other guy that was looking at the girl too much, or something they disagreed on, of course. And I think that's what happened. More than likely. But we'll find out, and it's going to be so stupid. And that's what makes me angry. I'm like, you're going to do this type of stuff, at least have some type of purpose, but they don't have any purpose. They just woke up on the wrong side of the bed or have nothing else to do. Also, because we're not doing the article reaction until next year, I did want to let you guys know there is a recall on Fresh Express salad as well as Dole packaged salad. So you guys look that up and you'll probably see a sign in your store. But if you have any in your fridge, take it out, bag it, and take it back to the store. They'll give you a refund. Some people just say, "Oh no, I'm just going to throw it out." But if you have money like that, please do. If you don't, then go get your money. Okay. And the last thing, they have announced that for January 3rd, if you're in the state of Illinois in the county of Cook, they're going to now have you to provide proof that you have been vaccinated, and you have to have proof for indoor restaurants, bars, fitness centers, and places like that for entertainment. So I'm not doing any of those things right now. I'm still social distancing, so that's not one thing that I am concerned with. All right. So, everyone, without further ado, you know what to do. We have to put our hands together and welcome the wonderful and the lovely and the beautiful Classic Ruby, everybody. Classic Ruby. Yes, yes.
Hi, y'all. Merry Christmas Eve or whatever. Yeah, that's right. You're going to get this attitude from Ruby today. You know why? You know
Why?
why? Because it is never merry for me. Never. Listen, I want it to be merry. Every year I want it to be merry. I'm singing, hang all the mistletoe. I want to get to know you better.
Dun, dun,
Do-do-do-do.
dun, dun,
This
dun, dun.
Christmas. Yeah, I start off the Christmas season singing that every year. I'm gonna tell y'all, this year I didn't even start off singing. I started off with I know nothing's going right this year. I already know. I know. You know why? Because it's a worldwide pandemic, and my sister moved across the country. And I'm gonna tell y'all, even when she lived 10 minutes down the road, it was still a mission and a struggle to try to get the gifts, wrap the gifts, get the gifts to people on time. Now I have to not only ship the gifts across the country, but I had to ship them to a place where there are floods and therefore delays. You think
Oh,
that anyone over there got a present? Hmm.
oh, yeah. Wow.
Mm-mm. Not a one. And I can only blame, like, everyone else for a little bit because I only started like 3 days ago. But listen, I checked Amazon. Listen, I checked Amazon. It's not my fault that Amazon continually lies to me because what happened is I'll check and I'll say, oh, look, this one says next day delivery. But I forget it's basing it based on where I live, not on where
Right.
I plan on shipping it, right? Like an idiot. I already learned this lesson last year for the baby shower, but apparently I didn't learn the lesson. So I'm thinking, okay, well, it's like a day before. I don't want them to get there too early because I don't want her to accidentally open something that's a gift, right?
Right.
Stupid me. So now I go, ha ha ha, okay, I'm gonna do my shipping. It's like Tuesday. Girl, I changed that shipping address. It went January 5th. Wait, what? No, no, no. Y'all said same day, and some of them were next day. How is it January 5th? That's not next
Mm.
day. That's not even close to next day. That's not even like a couple days delay for flood. Okay, that is like a whole next thing. Then I look, there is no Amazon Prime for Kamloops, BC, or anywhere in BC because of the floods, right? There just isn't. You just don't get next day delivery. You get when it gets there. That's it. So now with me and
Oh.
my little sad sack self, hey baby girl, I'm your only big sister and I'm your kid's only auntie, and I love you both very, very much. But y'all ain't getting no gifts from Auntie until 2022.
Next year.
Girl, Listen, I try to try. Now, make my life worse because of course, why would it get better? So I decided, listen, I've been so isolated because of this thing, and okay, and me and my mama, right, and our friend, we decided, okay, we are gonna make more of an effort. And we make the effort. Shall we have seen each other at least twice in the last 2 weeks?
Hmm.
Tell me how now, because we've seen each other in the last 2 weeks, tell me how our friend's husband test positive for COVID. What?
Oh, wow.
Right. So now she says this because she was going to pick up Mr. Ruby's gifts for me today and then bring them to me. Right. But now the problem is she might have COVID, so she has to isolate. But I've also seen she's been up in my house many times in the last week with her infected husband that no one knew was infected, right? So I'm like, and I've been
Oh,
feeling sick
boy.
the last few days, but I was like, oh, maybe it's just my regular symptoms. I'm just really tired, head throbbing. It's probably nothing, right? Oh no. Now we got a whole COVID case. And I'm like, you see, I already knew this Christmas. That's why I wrote it off. I wrote it off from last month. I already knew Christmas was going to be a whole disaster this year. So that's a
Oh,
Merry,
wow.
yeah, Merry Christmas Eve, y'all. What's up? That's how I feel. I'm just like, no, this life doesn't want to work with me. So I'm all right with that. I've decided it's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm not upset. Do I sound upset? I don't sound upset, do I? That's right, because
No.
I'm fine.
Uh-oh. She turning up now.
Girl, I need to become a hermit. Okay? That's what I want. I just want to live in a little cabin by myself in Alaska. And then I don't owe nobody nothing. We don't have mail. We don't have phones. We don't have internet. I just want to sit by myself in a room. That's it. That's how I feel. Yeah,
Oh.
I know. And next year I'm going to do it again. That's what religion can I have that celebrates no holiday? Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, I'm becoming a Jehovah's Witness, y'all, because they don't celebrate holidays.
Oh, no.
That's it. That's right. Sad
Oh,
sack, Ruby. I know. I know.
okay. Well, I hope you feel it better. Hope the show gets you going. I hope.
Me too. Listen, we can all hope and pray. And you know what? Listen, I gotta tell y'all something too on this whole recall thing. Now, I didn't know this, right? But Mama Rubes was schooling because she went and she got the dreads like from almost 2 years ago. So she's a pro now. So in between of washes, while you're waiting for your hair to dread, especially because you could easily like wash it and then it'll untwist itself. A
Hmm.
lot of people use dry shampoo. So she told me this. And then literally the next day the recall came out for like I think it's Dove brand. And whoever owns
Pantene.
Dove. Yes, Pantene and the other one. That whole parent company of shampoos, the dry shampoos and whatever,
Oh,
recalled. Recalled. It has benzene in it, which is it causes cancer. Why is there benzene in everything? Do you know how many recalls they have had lately because benzene is suddenly in this product? Like
right.
y'all, y'all didn't know it was there. Is it a new thing that's there now because you're using? Because that's what I was wondering. Maybe it has something to do with like because we've had shipping issues and we're closing borders off to certain countries. Maybe we're using ingredients from different places we didn't used to,
Right. That's
right?
what I'm
And
thinking.
then it's got to be something like that because it's crazy how many products that we all use on a daily basis that are getting recalled because they have benzene, including foods we eat, stuff we put on our skin, our hair. And it's just like y'all didn't know. Just how did this get out here? Never mind salmonella. I don't know. I feel like salmonella is the real scourge at the moment because I don't understand where all this salmonella contamination of everything is coming from. It's scary out there. Y'all need to, even if me and Char don't say nothing about, y'all need to look it up. There's a lot of recalls going on every day. Yes, in your city, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beware, people. Beware.
Right? At the very least. And also with the vaccine, I just wanted to say, because you posted it on your community tab,
Uh
y'all
huh.
need to check out Char's community tab because Shar has always got a lot of great information on her community tab, right? But it's like y'all do know that this new variant is taking down the vaccine, right? I'm just saying. Y'all know that people are going onto cruise ships, double vaccinated or triple vaccinated, and coming back with COVID, right? Y'all know, like, it's. I'm just saying, like over 50%. I'm just saying.
Word on the street. Yeah.
Right. So go find your mask. Okay. Go find your mask because as we've been trying to educate y'all, okay, it is not, and when I say what I mean, the jab is not a solution. But the pills came out. Did you see the pills came out? The pills came out, or they
Yes.
were approved or something. So, hey, at least maybe there's pills. Maybe the pills will help us. But I'm telling y'all, the jab. Mm,
You already know what's going on there.
right. Y'all already know.
Okay, well, let's start with the Friday dance and then we'll get the show started. So let's warm up a little bit
All right.
and let's get dancing. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here we go.
Look at her. We gon' start this thing over. Groove all in the motherfucking come on, come on. You a baby, baby. You a baby, baby. You a baby, baby. I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life. Ain't gonna break it off with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't gonna break it off with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't gonna break it off with you.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
I
Feeling
warmed
them
up.
kinks. All right. That's good. I was feeling a little tight before. Y'all know. It's all that stress.
Yeah.
Feeling better now. Okay.
Yeah, to loosen up them shoulders. There you go. You got it.
How did you know? I'm sitting there rolling the shoulders and everything right now, trying to stretch some stuff out.
That's how we do it. Yeah.
Mhm. Right? I'm very excited about tonight's topic.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Because no one cares about what's going on in the real news this week. All anyone cares about is apparently Megan Good is a 304 because her marriage didn't work out, right? Like
Oh
that's the
my
big,
goodness. Do
right?
anyone know what actually happens inside a person's marriage? Come on now. But
No,
continue.
not even remotely. And that's what drives me crazy is because if you listen to them, let them talk it out, right? This has to do with her being a black woman. That's it. It just has to do with her being a black woman and black love. There is no such thing as black love, and all black love is like a struggle love or black women agent, and so they're always gonna run back to the streets and da 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 da. And it's like it's
Mm.
almost like we have no awareness that there are other reasons why marriages end, right? Other than someone was a hoe, right? like
Wow.
right? So I'm excited about this particular subject just because I feel like it's going to illustrate that there's not only hoe problems out there, right? It's not just
Hmm.
people worried that someone cheated on them or that someone did cheat or the baby ain't theirs and they had a baby out of wedlock. Like relationships are complicated, right?
Yeah.
There's a million reasons why people get together and there's a million reasons why relationships end, and not all of them are because he was a hoe. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it drives me crazy that we do this. And I'm happy that we finally have a subject here that is going to talk about something that shifts our minds somewhere else. It's going to kind of highlight some of the crazy paranoia and how that ends up working against the men. That's right, working against the men, and how you could be a good woman, right? A good ride or die kind of woman, and somehow the relationship doesn't work anyway, and it's not her fault. Not her fault. So I am very much enjoying that. You know what? Hold on, let me give you a second. Let me just post this link right here for you because I am on my phone and I can't share. I remember just now.
All
And then we
right.
get it popping. Oh, let me make sure it's actually. Oh yeah, it is unlisted. Okay, just checking. Just checking. And for the record, y'all better appreciate this. You know how hard I had to work on this one particular video? No, sure. I got this to clear 5 minutes before showtime.
Wow.
5 minutes. I have 9, 10, 12, 14. No, sorry, 16 copyright strikes on my channel, technically. They're like partial copyright strikes, so they don't like take down your channel. I have 16. That's how many
What the
iterations.
world? Wow.
16 times I have edited and re-edited and re-edited, took out this and took out that 16 times for
Wow.
one to stick. Y'all better love this video. Y'all better be praising this video, okay? It has been the hardest thing I have ever done. But I told you, Shar, I was gonna win,
Yeah,
and
you
I
did.
won. I
Okay.
won, girl. That's right. It's a Christmas miracle.
All right. Okay, so let me get it on and popping here. Let's see. Gonna make it smaller so I can find my screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then where is my okay. Um let's see. Share. Share screen. Audio.
Oh,
Uh,
and y'all, there's a twist with this one too. Okay, there is y'all want to stick around for this story. I'm telling you. I am telling you. I never do this. There is. Y'all are it's gonna blow your mind. Y'all need to stick around. Okay, you're like, oh, maybe it's the same old, same old. It is not. It is not. Shar, you gotta tell them this is some next level.
yeah.
Oh,
Stick around, good people. Stick around. Get ready.
mhm. Next level treachery. That's what I gotta say about this.
Okay, let's see here. Make sure I got everything going here. And I think I do. Yes.
Mhm.
All right, here goes.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought Mr. Sean Norcell
Yes, Your Honor.
to divorce court today. I understand the two of you are not married.
Correct.
You've been in a relationship for 5 years. You're having a number of issues and you're trying to decide if you're going to move forward or go your separate ways.
Yes.
Ms. Duax, I'll start with you. Why don't you tell me why you're here today, why you brought this case?
Sure, Your Honor. So yeah, we met about 5 years ago online, hit it off right away. Everything flowed really well. We clicked really well. We had a lot of the same interests and a lot in common. But what I have today is not what I had 5 years ago. So he has recently come into some money through an inheritance, and I feel like it has completely changed him.
How much money?
$7.3 million. Which was quite the surprise for
Woo!
me. But he used to be super generous. We'd go out all the time. And that has all completely stopped. He's become very tight-fisted and doesn't want to spend anything and is very, very different than the person I met.
He's more tight-fisted now than before the inheritance?
That's correct, yeah.
What do you have to say, Mr. Norcell, about why you're here today?
Your Honor, I'm going to do everything I can to keep this woman. I love this woman. I want to make it work. As for the money, $7.3 million, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's not like I have $7.3 million in the bank. It's not liquid. I have a beach house in Florida. I have stocks and bonds. It's not like I have it in the bank. So yes, I'm trying to make it last forever.
Okay, so you're saying you're being prudent.
Exactly, yes.
What do you say is going on? You said that the change happened right away. It's been 5 years. The inheritance was just the last couple of years. What do you say happened?
I feel like the money has completely changed him. He also doesn't want to take the next step forward. I want us to buy a bigger house. I want us to start a family. I want us to get engaged. You know, all of these things that come.
She wants to spend money.
Where do you live
People
now?
spend money, Sean. It happens. You spend money, you move up in life. That's how that goes.
Do you live in a house now?
That was funny.
We live together in his house, yes.
Okay.
It's a smaller
Most of-
house, but it's
It is a
tiny.
smaller house. Most of my things are still in storage.
Mhm.
So I want a larger home that we can both fit in and hopefully raise kids in one day.
Are her items still in storage?
Yes, but storage is a lot cheaper than a whole other place.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And you said that also just
Wow.
the time that the two of you spend together, the date nights, that's changed as well?
Yes, he refuses to go out anymore, refuses to spend any money on dinners, going out, doing fun things. Again, before we used to go out all the time, find fun things to do, go out to eat. That has completely stopped.
Really?
We stay at home. Why do we need to go out if we can just stay at home and eat in?
I think it's romantic to sit around and watch TV. We don't-
Occasionally, not
Mr.
every
Northell,
single night.
what is the reason? Because now this is interesting. Because before, when you were on a more limited budget, the two of you went out more
Yes.
to dinners.
Yes, he was much more
And
generous.
now that you actually have some spare change, there's no coin shortage in the Northsale household. You cut back on going out to dinners and
Well,
having those special date nights.
I think it's more romantic to stay home. I kind of become a homebody as I get older.
Are you more concerned? Because we all hear the stories about how people win the lottery, they come into a lot of money, and they call it the curse, the lottery curse. Because what ends up happening is they don't know how to manage it, they don't know how to finance it. They have a bunch of new friends, family members they never heard of, all of a sudden start showing up, and they go through the money.
I'm worried about that. I have financial advisors that are helping me with that.
Yeah.
But yes,
So you
that is a
still have to
major
live your
concern.
life.
I do not want to go back to.
Just remember, Ms. Duax was with you before the money,
That is true, and I'm taking
before
that.
the inheritance. So the fact that you have regressed on your date nights and almost fallen prisoner to this inheritance because you're making all of these decisions, now you're being even more of a penny pincher when you have a few pennies to spare.
It's hard to explain. I want to make sure that our future is secure.
But when are we getting to that future? You haven't proposed. We don't have any kids. You don't want a bigger house. It's been 5 years. I'm ready for the next step, but I don't want to wait forever for something that's not going to happen.
Are you financially independent?
I do okay for myself.
But you said that you have an allowance.
Yes. So since he's received this money, he has given me $100 a week to supplement my own income. I never asked him to do this. This was at first a generous thing, a gift, from him.
That's
But
for
it's
hair and
become
nails.
This kind of show me
Barely.
receipts. What are you spending it on? It comes with a price. The money comes with a
Receipts
price.
for what?
Hold on. I've
What
done
I'm
that a
spending.
couple times. It's
Well,
not like I do it every
What
time.
do you
Like,
need to see receipts for?
well, I want to make
At all.
sure. I want to make sure that she's not just spending to spend.
You're only giving $100 a week.
Right.
Is that money hers when you give it to her? That's what teenagers get.
It is, but
Juan's 15-year-old daughter gets 200. You give her 100.
if I'm going to spend my future with her, I want to make sure that she's not going to spend all the money.
Why? If you give it as a
What?
gift, why do you then think you can judge what she spends it on?
Well, if you give a little and she spends all of it, if she's not saving, I'm worried that she's a couple things. I mean,
It's hard to save on $100 a week.
Right.
Sir, if you're giving her $100 a week in spending money, so you're saying that she should be investing in stock and making that money grow?
she can try it.
Okay.
Okay, let's pause for
I
a
get worried
second.
too that what if I give her more money and she is like planning an escape?
No,
Ah,
no. And you hear what he was trying to finish saying right there? Well, what if I give her more money and then she spends it? That's what you gave her the money for. Like, okay, here's the thing, right? Now, some of y'all might not have been in a situation where as adults you're giving each other an allowance. Cool, but you might have kids, right? Or you might have been a kid who got an allowance. Now, here's the thing. They give you an allowance to spend. That's literally what an allowance is. An allowance is saying, here's free money for the week, right? Here's a money for you to spend for the week. This is not your paycheck, but this is money that is extraneous. It's above what it is that I need to pay bills, to put away to savings, whatever. Here's your allowance. That's your money to spend. Now, if he was giving her $1,000 a week, I would agree. Yeah, check them receipts. What's the kind of decisions are you making financially, right? This would not be because you're supposed to be holding on to the money or not. It's not about what you should be doing with the money. It would just be more like, I would like to know, should you be responsible for finances or not? Because I want to see what kind of decisions you're making. But $100, that's $400 a month. What is she supposed to do with the $100 to supplement her income? That like you literally gave her the money. That's the difference between her eating canned tuna and being able to add some mac and cheese to it. You know what I mean? Like what is he expecting? The $100 a week. Like he's acting like he's giving her thousands of dollars. I'm blown away.
Now, see, I'm direct. He started doing that. Now I need to know, well, what is it that you giving this to me for, to do what with? And then we're going to have a discussion from there, because if that's something he doesn't want me to do, then I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, well, this is what we did before. You gave me money to get my hair done twice a month, my nails. That was $300. Now you're giving me $100 more per month, and you having a problem with that. So would you like to just give me 300 and you keep this other 100, since you want to try to dictate it? And I would call him out for that, just to see what he would says. What he would
Something,
say.
right?
I'd be kind of curious.
Plus, it's confusing to me that okay, so you got $7.3 million, right? Let's do some quick math. So it's 52 by giving her $100 a week. There's 52 weeks in a year, so that's $5,200 a year. Okay. So in approximately 100 years, she would have spent 1/14 of the money he inherited. What is he worried about here with this $100 a week? Like, I just like it's not rational, right? Like, rational would be she's complaining she only gets $100 a week, and he's saying, well, no, I can't just we can't just be throwing money away like that, right? Like that would make sense. But what he's saying is like, no, I should give her $100, and then of that $100, she shouldn't spend it. She should just hold on to it, so that way I know it still exists, because I want to keep $7.3 million forever by not spending it. It's almost like you know what, Shar? I'm thinking about it. So
Deep
you know
thought.
how
Okay, go ahead.
I know I had an epiphany because honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I looked at the tone of his skin, and that was biasing my opinion of him. But as soon as I kind of pretended he was part of our community, a community I know doesn't get a lot of financial literacy and education, I was like, oh, okay, I understand. So he doesn't know how to grow $7.3 million. He knows you can lose that amount of money very quickly just by making stupid decisions and blowing it like it's going to last forever. But he doesn't know what to do with $7.3 million so that way you don't lose it, right?
But
Because
according to him, he said he has someone to help him out. So what does that have to do with me and my $100 a week?
that's what I'm saying. But it's almost like that person helping him out isn't doing the right stuff with his money. So like, you take a large portion of that money and no one ever sees it, right? Because it goes into various places for it to grow, right? Like the money you keep back is the money you spend in. That's what's supposed to happen with them. Like, what do you expect her to do? She doesn't have any of her stuff. All of it's in storage, right? It's not like she can, oh, well, I'll just pull up. No, she's got to go buy everything new, or whatever, do things outside the house because you guys
I
live
don't
in
know
a
what's
block
going on
where you
lately,
leave your
man.
stuff.
Hit the cash app, support the show, man. Support the show, man.
I'm sorry.
Exactly,
Glitches again. They
right?
come
He's
up.
acting like that glitch. Like, he ain't got nothing. You better hit the cash app. He might lose all his money because his girl spent $100 this week.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jack,
you
welcome
know
to the show.
what's up? Tis the season. Happy holidays, everybody.
Hey, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Tis the
Thank
night
you.
before. Tis the night before Christmas. Jack Spade comes up into the spot.
All right.
Mhm.
What you thinking so far? What you hear?
Oh man, I'm with my man 100%. She
Oh
she
yeah.
she has girlfriend privilege. You ain't got wife privileges. Now I may not do $100, but hey, I'm feeling them. Matter of fact, she should be lucky. She's not I'm trying not to use the word. She's not making love to a bank teller. She's making love to BB&T itself.
So the amount of money is what you're saying is perfect.
Yes, because she's up in his place. It's his money. She ain't got the ring. She ain't got the is my mic too loud?
No, you're fine.
No, go ahead.
Because I actually bought a new mic. I had to put the other one up in storage for a second. So it's perfect.
Like all of her stuff in storage.
That's right.
Okay, go
That's
ahead.
right.
What the heck just happened here? Somebody
Sleeping in my bed, baby.
That's right. I don't care what that man said. That man was all up in his doggone living room. But yeah, she ain't got the ring. She ain't got the contract. So baby, you got girlfriend privileges. You ain't got wife privileges.
Now, Jack, I agree with the $400. I agree that she's up in his house. All that is fine. But as far as can I have a receipt for what you spent?
That's right.
Right.
That's the issue I have.
That's
because
right.
if
Show
you
me.
gave it to me, then you gave it to me.
Right.
It's
a gift.
all about trust. Show me them papers.
But trust for what?
Just because he's got the money. He got the power. I've got
Right.
the power. He's got the
here's
power
the thing. But he is giving her a gift of $100 a week. He's just giving that to her. He didn't give her the money for a specific thing. Here's $100 to pay your light bill. Here's $100, whatever. No, he decided after he got the inheritance that he wanted to give her this gift of $100 a week. That is so. What receipts? What trust? Like, what are you looking for? What would you be looking for to confirm what?
Let me run across $7.4 million. I'm going to change real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, every time she pulls up to that driveway, that's the gift.
No, I'm still, but you didn't answer the question.
Okay, go ahead. About the okay. Now, I'm cheap. I'm a tightwad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an asshole. Now, $100. I may. Now, this was $100 a month or $100 a week.
$100 a week.
That's $400 a month. No, hell no. Hey, that's enough right there. She worked. She got a job.
But wait, she's not asking for more. She didn't ask for the $100. He decided to start of his own volition, right? They said this was a generous thing at the beginning. He decided he wanted to give her $100 a week. So he started giving her as a gift $100 a week. And then over time, it started being like, let me see receipts. I want to see what you're spending money on and blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, she didn't ask for the $100. He voluntarily is giving it to her, and she's not even complaining that it's only $100 or something. She's not complaining about the amount of money that she's getting or anything like that. She's complaining that he's giving her this money that he chose to give her as a gift. And then now it's turning around and saying, well, where's the receipts? I need to confirm and check what you spent that $100 on.
Yeah, and that's almost sounds to me. I really want to know if you're saving it.
Yeah,
right.
I'm with my man 100%.
So what do you want him to do? Want her to spend it or keep it? What do you want?
Okay, even though this is a television show, and more than likely there's some fictitious stuff going on in it, but still, let's imagine if it was real. The thing is, he is sitting on $4 million?
7.3, I think. But yeah, something like that.
$7.3 million. She is living in his spot. She is his boo-ish. She ain't quite the wife, but she is his boo-ish. She's got a comfort. And I believe she might still be working. There's no children involved. So she needs to stop complaining. If the man is giving you $100 a week with the how hard is it to save a receipt and put it on top of the dining room table when you get in the house?
But like, why should I have to validate what I do with the gift you give to me? Because it's again, if she was asking for it, if she said, listen, I'm having a really hard time covering my part of stuff. And then he said, okay, here, I will give you this extra amount of money for you to be able to cover your stuff. And then he asked for confirmation, right? Show me the receipts that you're getting that stuff paid. Show me the receipts that you're really actually covering the rent or the electricity bills or whatever, because you've been irresponsible with those things. That would be one thing. But that's not what he's asking for. She's covered. The bills are all covered. He's not worried about that. He's worried about what she is spending, right? With like the money that you have that's extraneous, the money that you have to spend on nothing, basically, which in and of itself, again, not something she requested, not something that he's giving her because it's hard times, but just as a generosity gift. It's literally why he's giving it to her.
Let somebody give me $400 a month. The only thing you ask for is some receipts, man. How do you want them? You want it in paper? You want me to send it to you via phone? How do you want it? How do you like it? Isn't
See,
it
the
what in
difference
that
is though,
song?
you said someone, and this isn't just someone. This is his significant other that he's been with for 5 years. And let's be clear about the fact that he only just got the inheritance. So they were together and building a life together. And he wasn't like this before, right? And she's not some money hungry person. She's not here just because of the money and whatever. She was down, she was supporting, they were building the same dream. Actually, he was more generous before he got the money. Because they were together for years before he got the money, but now he has $7.3 million, and now he's acting this way. It's not like he was always like this.
Right.
I would do the same thing too. You got to remember now. This is too bad. I'm the only guy on the panel, so I got all the reign now. But let's look at it this way.
Okay.
They weren't legally married. She's on temporary status. Now the temporary could be another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But baby girl, she is on temporary status. You are Miss Thing for now.
Oh, so that's the relationship.
That's
your
right.
attitude now.
That's
Okay.
right.
Now I
right.
see where you're going. Thank
That's
you.
right. That's
Okay.
right.
All right, Vonda, would you like to add in here?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Char. Hey, Ruby. Hey, Jack.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
It to me, it just sounds like he's being a little controlling. $100, it's better than nothing, but it's not a lot of money. And, the fact that he was giving her $300 a month and he didn't care one way or the other what she did with it. Now he's giving her an additional $100 and oh boy, I need to see some receipts. I need that, that Subway receipt. I need to see, that bottle alcohol receipt. I need to see, that, loaf of bread receipt. At some point it gets a little bit ridiculous. If she's already working, they already have a home, they have a whole lot that they're already doing, then it's like, okay, now for this additional $100, you really want me to account for this additional $100? It might even be more trouble than what it's worth. It's like, dude, she's not taking the money because she needs it, so it's like, take it back. Just that way you give her some peace of mind. She's not going to drown if she doesn't have the $400, and I'm sure she's just saying, oh, okay, this is just way too much. It ends up being a little stressful, added stress put on her, because now she's like, okay, I'm already 5 years in with this man, and we were, talking about getting married, but now he doesn't seem to want to get married and my stuff is still in storage. So, I mean, at what point will she be able to get her stuff out of storage? I know a lot of people that put their stuff in storage and they never saw that stuff again. A lot of people. Yeah. Once it's in storage, whenever I hear somebody say, oh, yeah, it's in storage, I'm like, oh, you ain't going to never see that again. A lot of people tend not to keep their stuff out of storage,
Nope.
But
and you know why?
He's not even giving her like a...
No, because that's the thing.
Just nothing. It's like, oh, no, you're just keep living here with me and, putting your ovaries and your uterus on hold. I mean, I know you want to start a family, but, it's like usually people hold off on starting a family because, you know, oh, we haven't been together long enough, or we want to save up some money. They're past those 2 points.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So, and I wanted, you know, Jack, for you to like also recognize the fact that the reason why she's living with him, it's not like she wasn't, no, that's why she has stuff in storage. They lived in 2 separate places, but they decided that they were going to build a life together, right? And so to do that, she sacrificed her own place in the, you know, trying to build. Let's save money and let's build so that way we can get the wedding and have the kids and afford all of those things. Let's do that together. So that's a little bit different, I think, than when someone just moves into your house because, you know, they're living with mom and they want to get the hell out of their house. So they come and move in with you. That's a very different scenario. You got 2 grown people who are saying, let's merge our lives together, and everything is going swimmingly until this man gets this inheritance that no one was counting on, right? And now it's like he's lost his whole mind because his perspective is different. And I'm not gonna blow it up for y'all. But you know, just keep your ears out because he does tell us why. Hold on, he does tell us why he's so fixated on this money issue and where the money's going. Wait until y'all hear.
Before you go there, let me chime this in here. Even though I have said it many times, I am not a part of the manosphere, but my man is sitting on $7.4 million. He has options. There we go.
Well, and to tag on to that, now I'm thinking, you know, now he's like, oops, I got this money. I'm not sure if I want to be with her. You know, I might, you know, want to, you know, hold on to her and it maybe push for something better. I might be able to find something better. And if he's feeling that way, I think that's completely wrong. He needs to be honest with her and tell her, because she made some changes in her life. If she gave up her place to come and live with him, then he needs to be honest and tell her that. You know, because now it's like, oh, at first we was both broke, but now technically you're the broke one. I'm not. I have the million. So I might want to hold off for, you know, quote unquote, a better woman.
I mean, you know, he's not a bad looking guy. He got the thick Guido neck. He got the Guido hairstyle.
She's not a bad looking woman. She's not a bad looking woman.
He's got $7.4 million. $7.4 million. Oh no, he has 7.4 million options. There we go.
All right. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna leave it right there.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, let's see.
Let it rip.
Investing in stock and making that money grow?
She can try it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I get worried too that what if I give her more money and she is like planning an escape to get away? You know, what if she's not happy with me? Not trying to be controlling or anything, but I also don't want to finance her leaving. You know what I mean?
Boom!
Wow. That is interesting.
Okay, hold on. We got to watch for just a quick second, Jar. Did you hear that, Jack? Everything you just said just got nullified. Because here's the thing. He doesn't want to give her more money because she might be planning an escape. Okay?
Of course.
This is not a man. This is not a man who's sitting there saying, ooh, now that I got $7.4 million, I got 7.4 million options, and I'm even better now. Maybe she's not good enough for me. He is such an insecure twat at this point, right? That he thinks that she's hoarding the $100 a week, so she has a fund to escape from him.
That's right. I totally agree with him 100%. If you want to skip up out of here, you skip up out of here with your money, not with mine. I agree with him 100%.
Well, why did you decide to think that way?
Yeah, at some point, why even be together if everything is so suspicious? Dude, we've been together for 5 years and now you're thinking that I want to leave now? You know, it's like, come on.
So I'm going to plan an escape. So you have to check my receipts to make sure I spent the money rather than I'm hoarding it away so I can plan my daring escape from you. Do you know how low your self-concept and self-worth and self-esteem has to be for you to think that this woman even though you just got $7.4 million, even though you guys have 5 years together, even though she's done so much to show you she's clearly trying to build a future with you. You know how low your self-esteem and self-worth has to be for you to think that if you give that woman money, then she's gonna hoard it away to flee from you? Like, think about, like, that is a very low self-esteem.
It's called CYA, cover your ass. Now, he made a mistake by even letting her know that he had that kind of money. Now, he could have said, well, you know, I got to hold to 100,000 and then, you know, kept the other 7.x amount of money secret. But he made a mistake by even telling her that much. Dude, he done put himself in danger.
In danger of what? Her fleeing now?
Her fleeing, her setting him up. Man, you don't let no, I'm saying now.
Setting him up.
Y'all know I don't practice political correctness. Man, his life is in danger. She can set him up.
For what?
For some of that $7.4 million.
To get him to be harmed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Somehow she can figure out a way how she can figure out how she can get some of that money, start hoarding the money, and then get the man bumped off. No,
but that's not even his fear. His fear, which doesn't even make any sense unless they were already married, right? Which they are not. His fear is that she so doesn't want him, which tells you how lowly he thinks of himself, that she could stick around to try to get the ring, and then, you know, at least then, you know, she gets half or whatever. But no, that's not his fear. His fear is that she's so much better than him and so doesn't want him that she will use whatever little crumbs of money she can get now to flee from him.
What the heck just happened here? Somebody
Sleeping in my bed, baby.
Oh, it's glitches again. Sorry about that.
All them glitches. But
so you have to understand, okay? I was married for 6 years, okay? So I kind of trusted the wife. He ain't got a wife. He got a boo thing living up with him. So I trust the boo thing less than I trust the wife.
But you must have trusted the wife before you married her in order to marry her,
you
right?
know, I trust her. I trust her with my $2,000 a month that was coming in paycheck. That's one thing. But if I'm sitting on $7.4 million, I trust nobody. Zero. Absolutely, positively nobody. I don't even trust myself that much. I trust myself as far as I can throw me.
That's sad. To me, for me personally, I think that would be a sad existence, because you are not even allowing yourself to enjoy your life or enjoy the person who you chose to be in a relationship, who was with you before you had the money. If she had those type of tendencies, she could have easily gotten a policy on him and had him bumped off if that was such a thing. But, you know, they decided they were going to be together. And then his whole demeanor, he became super duper paranoid, you know, once he got this money, and he wants to account for every single nickel that she spends when it wasn't even like he said, well, before she got the money, she did spend money kind of, you know, crazy. So I just want to make sure. It wasn't anything like that. Things were fine. The problem was this fool won the lottery. That's what it is. The problem was he won the lottery, and then all of a sudden he can't trust her.
That's
then
right.
I hope he's sleeping. I hope he's sleeping with one eye open, because you're vulnerable when you live with somebody. You sleep. You know your underwear are there. You know your food is there. Everything is there. Is it really that you really?
That's right.
Yep. Live together.
Really?
Yep. I stand with my man 100%. I'm feeling him. I'm feeling him.
All right.
Oh, here's that.
Let's see if you keep feeling them. Okay. All right, here we go.
For 5 years and you haven't proposed?
See, it feels like the walls are closing on that too. I mean, I'm not trying to be. If we were to get married, would you sign a prenup?
I don't know, Sean. That's something we've never talked about before. It's something I'm open to.
Okay. Well, then that's something that we can discuss when we get to that point. That's one of the things that worries me. I'm worried about.
No, he's worried about me leaving. But he's the one that constantly has his phone flipped down, face down, running to it every time it rings or dings or anything. I mean, there have been so many times I've been suspecting that he's been cheating on me because he's so possessive about this phone. Like if it goes off, I can't even hand it to him.
What do you think is happening?
He's talking to other people. The one time he was in like another room, the phone went off and it made a sound very similar to one of the dating apps that we had previously met on.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes flying in from the other room to turn it off and put it on vibrate.
Mm-hmm.
So I, of course, asked about it. And he said, "Oh, it's just a work email. That's not the sound that emails."
It was, and it was obviously important because they kept emailing. I wanted to get to it, make sure.
But if it was just an email, why couldn't I hand you your phone?
So did you see any of the dating apps on his phone, or you just say you heard the sound?
I have never been in his phone, close to his phone. He keeps it very, very
well. You would
secure.
be the first in this courtroom, Ms. Dulac. But what's going on? Are you back on the dating apps?
No. The way I look at it, my phone is my property.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has the right to go in it. I do business on there. My work's on it. My banking information's on there. Everything is on there. It's my business. It's not yours.
So just for clarity, Mr. Norcell, you're saying you're not on dating apps. There's nothing suspicious going on. You're just protective about your right to privacy with your phone.
No. When we became exclusive, I did get off the dating apps.
Okay. So I understand that you want to get married.
Yes.
I read in your papers an interesting story about a ring. What happened?
So I was cleaning at home and I had found a ring in his closet. Look like an engagement ring, it's a diamond ring. So I kind of got a little excited. I thought, oh, okay. But then it turned out, he hasn't proposed, and it was a ring from a previous engagement.
How'd you find out it was a ring from a previous
Wow.
engagement?
He had told me that he had previously been engaged.
So you've been married before?
Yes.
Okay. And you've also been engaged to someone else before?
Yes.
So he's willing to make these steps in the past, with other people, and I just don't understand why, in this case, we're not taking those same steps.
I'm moving slow because I'm learning from my previous mistakes.
But how long? I mean,
have the two of you discussed marriage before you received the inheritance?
Minimally.
Because this was a couple of years ago. You've been together for 5 years, and I'm just observing what I think.
That was something that I wanted.
Well, that's what every woman wants, but it's a piece of paper
not a
these
joke.
days.
It's not a joke.
It's been 5 years. You said you've discussed a number of times that you want to get engaged, you want to start a family, and he's been, avoiding it? Avoiding the subject?
Yes. So he does have 2 children of his own. I have no kids. But again, I would like to move forward and, have kids of our own. That was something he has said that he's open to.
Okay.
But every time I bring it up, I've tried to say, let's go to the doctors. Let's see if there's anything wrong, now that we've been trying for the last couple of years. And he just kind of sloughs it off. And I just feel like he's not supportive and he doesn't want it as much as I do.
Is that true?
It's not that.
Yes.
It's just, I feel like she's trying to corner me with having a child because then she's mine. 18 years. 18 years I'm going to have to be stuck.
Stuck. So you've been stuck for 5.
I'm not saying
Wow.
stuck like that. I'm just saying that if I want to change things, I can't.
It's
You want to keep your options open.
Yes, I want to keep my options open. It's
Wow.
Ms.
You know,
He
Rex?
said he want to keep his options
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
after I got the money, I've been very
That's what I
worried
heard.
about spending money and stuff and about you trying to take my money. I got a vasectomy right after I got the money.
I was getting ready to say he probably got a
It can be
vasectomy.
reversed if
Oh.
we want to have kids, but I got one because I don't want to accidentally have one.
Are you kidding?
No,
Why would you do
Yeah.
that?
because I don't want to accidentally slip into 18 years of child support with you.
Wow.
And all this time, you've been telling me that we're trying. I've been going to doctors,
Wow.
and you just let me think that we're trying and we're on the same page.
Sweetie, I love you. I just don't
You
want
don't.
to feel stuck.
Nobody does that to somebody that they
No.
love. No.
I didn't
No.
do it to you. I did it to myself.
Mr. Norcell?
No.
Mr. Norcell, let me tell you
Wow.
something. The two of you have been in a relationship for 5 years. That is a long time to be committed to someone and to say that you want to spend your life with someone, for you to go and you've been having these discussions. You know how important it is to her. And then you made that decision on your own, kept it a secret, did not tell her. Do you understand the gravity of the breach of trust that you just committed in this relationship?
I do, but
No, he
I
doesn't.
have to protect myself.
No.
And
No. Okay,
those
let's
words
pause.
about protecting yourself, because it is really all about you. And that's what you've made. That's how you make this decision. And that's what I've heard throughout this case. You being so concerned and hyper vigilant that you're going to get stuck, that somebody's going to take advantage of you, that you're going to, money, as much as it is a blessing, it can be such a curse for so many people if you don't know how to keep things in the right perspective. It's shocking. I know for you, as it was shocking for me to hear. But so I can't imagine being in your shoes right now. But you've got to stop hoping for something to change when the truth is right in front of you. Mr. Norcell has not been ambiguous about how he feels about things today because he's more concerned about protecting his assets than about protecting his future with you. And my legal background, I actually agree with people getting prenups and all of those things, but it's everything else that's come along with this. When you get married, you have a child with someone, you never want to hear them say, I'm concerned about getting stuck. You want to marry somebody who is excited, happy, and enthusiastic about being with you. There's no amount of money in the world that can replace the love and affection and the adoration that you want from a potential spouse. I can't imagine hearing everything you heard today and then wanting to stick with it and stick beside it. Because in 5 years, you know what that's been? He's been buying time. Not with his money, with something else. He's been buying time.
I do love this woman.
No, he doesn't.
I do love this woman.
Okay, I don't think you do. Or I could
You love your money more.
come in this courtroom. They would rather have somebody just walk away for good, ghost them, than do what you did. How long ago did you get the vasectomy?
About 2 years ago, right after I.
Okay, so for 2 years, you have been living an absolute lie.
No, because I can have
An
it
absolute
reversed.
lie
I
for
can
2
have it
years.
reversed if we decide.
It's not about that. It's not about
you
you.
decide.
You
You're
had it,
honest.
and you had her thinking there was something wrong with her because she could not get pregnant. That
Right.
is despicable. And now you want to sit here and say you love her? You don't do that to somebody you love. That is cruel. That is unfair. It is unconscionable. 2 years? You don't walk. You run.
I'm out. I'm out. This is ridiculous. I can't believe you. This is,
I can have it reversed.
no, that doesn't matter. You decided this 2 years ago that you were out and you didn't tell me. So I'm done. I'm done. That's it.
Mr. Norcell, I hope you and all your money will be very happy together. Because I don't see it for you, not this relationship, not any relationship, until you get yourself together. Good luck, man.
No,
Hope you and your money doing
I'm very
good
happy.
forever.
I agree with her on that because the
Oh
money
my
was the one thing he cared about the most. He cared about the money the most. He didn't say anything about, well, you know, we don't really get along. I mean, other than him getting this money, things seem to be pretty much fine with them. He had no complaints about her. He had
Nope.
absolutely no complaints about her.
Right. It was nothing.
I missed it.
No,
He
he's like,
is
I
a-
was just concerned. I was just concerned. Or I just wanted to be sure. I just wanted to be sure. I didn't want to get stuck.
He's
Well, you know-
treacherous.
well,
He's
you know-
treacherous. You know, treacherous. Let me tell you something. As a woman, right, who is trying to get pregnant, and what you go through as a woman mentally and emotionally when it doesn't just come easy to you, and all of the things that you're going through with the doctor's appointments and the fertility specialists and the cost, and also the effect that has on you physically, you know, and emotionally, and therefore mentally, and you're still failing, and the hopelessness and all those things that he watched her go through, lying to her face, saying, yes, baby, we are trying. Don't worry, baby, we can do this. Okay, baby, let's go. Like, he was lying about having a vasectomy, something he did not have when he met her, but got while they were together, and then said, yeah, sure, babe, let's try to have a kid. That is the most treacherous thing I have heard anyone say on one of these shows. That is the most despicable, I agree with Judge Bates, despicable thing I have ever heard them say on these shows. I can't even believe you would do that to someone you like, even just like a little bit. Not even like love. Forget 5 years together, forget building a life together, forget husband and wife. How could you do that to someone you even just, that you don't hate? Like, that is terrible.
He just built up for the last couple of years a whole bag full of scrutiny and paranoia. That's what they were building, was scrutiny and paranoia. I mean, for him to go and do that, have a medical procedure which would prevent him from having a child with his you know, fiance, you know, or lack of a better word, you know, girlfriend, but they had planned to do all of this, you know, have children.
Right.
And she's thinking something's wrong with her, but every time you guys, you know, have relations, she's like, oh, this might be it, you know, and then it doesn't happen. She's like, damn, something must be wrong with me. And he's like, oh, you know, don't worry about it, we'll try again next month, you know, no big deal, you know. That's just as bad as a woman who says, "Oh yeah, I want to have your baby," and she had a hysterectomy 10 years ago.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
what's worse,
that's
imagine then sending that man, because it's not just like hoping it happens. She said they were going to doctor's appointments and stuff. That's why I brought like the fertility specialists and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
normally they'll start with the woman, so they'll put the woman through all of this stuff first, because that's normally what the problem is, right? Before they try to check the man's sperm count, they'll do all the stuff with the woman first. And so to know he allowed that to go on, right? And she's just thinking, okay, well, we're making this plan, we're trying to get pregnant together, then we make the appointments, and then he just doesn't seem as invested. Like, she was just thinking it was like a lack of investment thing,
or that
because
he's cheating.
yeah, maybe he's cheating. It's like, no,
Her feelings are hurt. Her feelings are thoroughly hurt because this is someone that she loved and cared for, and she thought he loved and cared for her. But obviously, there's another woman, and it's called the money, because the money is. It's three of them in this relationship. It's not just him and her. There's money. Nobody mentioned an ex-boyfriend or, no type of janky behavior. All of a sudden, this paranoia just came on the minute he got this money. And all of a sudden, he wants to scrutinize everything about her and control everything down to his sperm.
I still stand my own man. I still stand my own man 100%. Now, she was good enough. She was good enough for $40,000, $45,000, $50,000 a year, depending on where they live at. But he's sitting on $7.4 million. Baby,
so that makes it okay to play with
what
people?
about the prenup? Why about a prenup? She said we never discussed it, but I'm not opposed to a prenup. Why can't we just do a prenup and get rid of all this extra garbage, which is going to tear the relationship down anyway? All this scrutiny. Just get a prenup. Then you can know exactly what I get and what I don't get.
She's not okay to marry, and that's fine, right? But here's the question then. If she's no longer good enough for you, how dare you stay with her for 2 years and try to have a baby with her knowing you can't even have one?
Okay, she was good enough for $40,000, $45,000, $50,000 a year. But let me try this again. He's sitting on $7.4 million. He can buy him a 7, 8, or 9 or
so
10.
Then why didn't he, again, right? You're saying you're with him all the way. If he left her, right, because now he deserves better, that's one thing. But that's not what he did. He stayed with her and said, we are going to build a life together. Yes, babe, let's try to have a baby. Let's try to get pregnant. We are working actively on having a baby. And he was outrightly lying to her because he knew he had the vasectomy, letting her go through all these medical things to try to get pregnant and letting her go through all of that psychological, emotional trauma, right? Yeah. Thinking that there's something wrong with her. And you're still 100% on his side with this.
Yeah,
explain why that's okay.
Because he might burn in hell kicking her out. But if she goes out on her own will, her own merit, her own energy, he's good.
Not to mention that this woman is 29 years old. So she was 27 when he decided to do this. You know, she's been with him 5 years. So she's been with him since she was 24. So, I mean, these are the fertile, extra fertile years, for women. You get to 30, you get past 35, it dramatically goes down. Doesn't mean you can't have kids, but he's compromising her fertility, by not being honest. He could have just said, look, I'm about to get this vasectomy, and after we get married, I'll have it reversed and, things will be settled and I'll feel more comfortable. She sounds to me like she would have reasonably agreed to that.
Yeah,
if you were honest.
When he got a hold of that money, everything about her started becoming deducted. There's a point taken off. There's several points taken off for all your flaws. You got the double chin, that's like 20 points. You got the big ankles, that's some more points taken off. You got the love handles, that's some more points taken off.
That is so shallow.
You're over 175 pounds. That's more points taken off.
She was okay when he was broke, but now that he has money, she needs to be like, a flawless 10. Stop it.
That's right.
Jack, let me ask you, Jack, then, if that's the case, why tolerate that person that long if all these points are deducted? Why deal with that person another 2 years or longer?
And
Now,
just be honest. Does that mean because you get money now you can be deceitful just because you're protecting yourself? It's okay to be deceitful and not be, authentic to the person that you're with because you got money. That is not an excuse. That does make him a very despicable person. Him and his 7 point whatever freaking $1 million.
Yep.
now, I agree with my man 100%. Now, the way he went about it, he could have went about it a bit different, but every man has their way. But I still stand. The core of what he was trying to do, I stand behind it 100%. Now, the difference between me, I got a vasectomy back in '93, so I'm straight up with people. Hey, I got a vasectomy. Matter of fact, I still have about maybe 200 copies of my test result in my gun safe. So if anybody's like, well, I don't believe that you got a vasectomy, I can give them 2 or 3 copies that's in the gun safe. Here's the final the lab result. I'm shooting blanks. But now how he went about it, I wouldn't have gone like that. But hey, like I said, let me get a hold of $100,000.
You know what though? Here's the problem with what you're doing. What you're doing is you're taking what you would feel like and imposing or projecting it onto him. Because the fact of the matter is, he doesn't want her to leave. I couldn't leave it in the video because of the music, because it was everything was tripping the stupid flagging thing. But at the end, right? Because she says at the end of the show, we all hear this, she says she's done. And he said, no, but I can have it reversed. No, don't worry, I can have it reversed when we decide that we want to have kids, as though they hadn't already made that decision, but fine. And she said, no, I'm done. And then after that, they have like the kind of like the after show thing, right? And even then, he's begging her to stay. And she's like, no, I'm done. Like this. Are you kidding me? I've already wasted so many years of my life on this.
Another 5 years of her life with his paranoia and scrutiny. It's like, dude, come on.
Right. I mean, but here's the thing. He doesn't want her to leave. He doesn't want her to leave. So you're saying, right, if it was you, the way you think about yourself already, you think that you are, let's say you have a high self-esteem, right? And so you are judging what kind of girl you can get then based not on like your intrinsic factors, but on that money factor. So if the money factor raised, therefore the girl that you would get would be higher because you think that, you deserve the best that your money can get. He doesn't think like you because he isn't looking at this chick and saying she's not good enough for me. It's not about her because he doesn't want her to leave. He's literally begging her to stay anyway. No, just stay, babe. Come on, we can do this. All right? No, babe, don't worry. I'm sorry. And then at the very end, he's like, no, don't worry. I'll get it reversed. I'll get it reversed right away. I'll get it reversed right now. And she's like, no, I'm done. Right? So he actually wants to keep her. So you're projecting something onto him that isn't true. That's not the reason why he did what he did.
He wants to keep her. He just wants a better version of her.
Well, then he wouldn't offer to reverse the vasectomy. He would let her walk out now, as you said, right? Because you said, well, he doesn't want to have to leave her. He wants her to leave him. Okay, well, she's leaving now. So then there would be no promises at all let alone to reverse the vasectomy immediately, right? He doesn't want her to leave because the fact of the matter is, right? And I said this earlier in the show. No, he doesn't have a self-esteem, a self-worth, a self-concept that makes him think that he is better than her, money or not. The money just became a thing that further enhanced his self-esteem issues, right? So he already thought he really wasn't worth very much. He already looked at this chick and thought, I don't know why this young girl even wants to be with me, okay? Then he got this money and he went, oh yeah, there's no way she wants to be with me. So if I give her any money, if I give her any leeway, she's going to take it to run away from me because I'm not good enough for her. That's the way he's thinking. So all of his paranoia, listen to what he's saying. Everything he's said has been this paranoia, right? And this fear that he's not good enough. Not that she's not good enough, but that he's not good enough. That's everything he said over and over and over again. So you're projecting a self-esteem onto him that he doesn't have.
And the funny thing about it is she doesn't even have the money and she can still leave him. So it doesn't take money to leave, millions of dollars to leave someone. She's she can be done now.
I mean,
And
yes,
just keep. I hope you and your money are very happy with each other. I mean, because
Right.
that's the most important thing to you. At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
I mean, yes, he does have self-esteem issues, but he's got $7.4 million to raise it.
But apparently he doesn't, because he's had it for 2 years and his self-esteem is no higher than it started.
Well, he got to let go of the dead weight first. Let her go, cry some tears, work on yourself, and sooner or later he'll get it. But he's sitting on 7.4 million. He can make a mistake with 1 million and still have 6 and some change left.
See, what happens is the rhetoric, and I'm going to be real here, the rhetoric tells men that that's true. Reality tells women that it's not. Okay. And I'm going to explain. There's a very small minority of men, okay, who are actually independently attractive and tall, right, and have a great level of self-esteem. So literally the only thing that's limiting them from, reaching the stars will be surface things that they would like to change. For example, how much money they have. But there are a lot of men, the majority of men, who are not actually like that, right? When they get 1.4 or 1.5 billion dollars, it doesn't change their self-concept, their self-worth, their self-esteem. It doesn't, right? Because in and of itself, they already have a self-concept that tells them that they're really not that great and they don't really deserve much. And so in and of itself, if you think that you intrinsically are not great, then $1.4 million, $7.4 million, $200 million isn't going to change what you think about yourself. It really isn't.
That is true. But let's not leave out the fact that he has a child, 2 children, either by 1 or 2 other people. So he could still be kind of burnt from that. And independently handsome. I got to use that one. Do you say independently handsome or attractive?
I said attractive, but
I got to use that one. I like that one.
Well, because it's true, right? Like, we know that there are people who are average, right? There are men who are average, but their money, just like with women, there are women who are hella average, maybe a little under average, but then you put them in, the perfect fitting kinds of clothing and the right hair and the right makeup, and suddenly they're gorgeous, right? But there are dudes that seriously roll out of bed, they ain't shaved nothing in a week, they look like shit, and they're still gorgeous, right? And men know this inherently about themselves, if they're good looking guys or not, right? Because normally high school tells you, or college. So I don't think he has that self-esteem or that life experience that tells him that women would choose him, period. I think, actually, at 41 years old and she's 29, right, that every single day that he's been with this woman, he has wondered, like, why would she ever be with me? And I think that the money in and of itself just reinforced that and just made him think, like, now there's money. And I think he thinks, well, she's going to look at it and say, oh, well, if I can get this loser with a lot of money, maybe I can get a better looking guy, a better guy with the same amount of money, right? I can monkey ranch or trade. And I think that is more where his mind has been, given everything that he said, honestly.
But see, what he needs is some true friends. He needs a friend like myself that can build up his self-esteem. Matter of fact, he can pay me $1 million and I can be his personal fake psychologist.
At his age, I don't think so.
I can work. He's 42. I can work on him.
No, it's a little too late for that. For
Nah, not with $7.4 million. There's always a chance.
No,
I
he
get
doesn't
him.
trust you. Trust me. But you know what I want to do? I want to replay this because you actually, what I was thinking, because I had ran got me some water. I'm thinking you need to hear the way he used the we and I. If you hear that a little bit, you're gonna change your mind a tad bit. And I want to replay that because that's very telling. Well, we, well, I, well, no, but we can. Well, I can. Well, I wasn't, so if you listen to that, that kind of
Yes.
tells you where his mindset is. So let me go back
Okay.
and we'll play that.
Kaduax,
Yes, Your Honor.
you have brought Mr. Sean Norcell
Yes, Your Honor.
to divorce court today. I understand the two of you are not married.
Correct.
You've been in a relationship for 5 years. You're having a number of issues and you're trying to decide if you're going to move forward or go your separate ways.
Yes.
Ms. Duax, I'll start with you. Why don't you tell me why you're here today, why you brought this case?
Sure, Your Honor. So yeah, we met about 5 years ago online, hit it off right away. Everything flowed really well. We clicked really well. We had a lot of the same interests and a lot in common. But what I have today is not what I had 5 years ago. So he has recently come into some money through an inheritance, and I feel like it has completely changed him.
How much money?
$7.3 million, which was quite the surprise for me. But he used to be super generous. We'd go out all the time, and that has all completely stopped. He's become very tight-fisted and doesn't want to spend anything, and is very, very different than the person.
Now, right there, let's say he made the $40,000 a year. Okay, now you have some extra or more. You're not even going to spend that so we can go out to Applebee's or wherever.
Right.
You're going to stop doing that now just because you inherited some money? That's a big red flag there.
Yeah, I came to the channel when that had started.
Okay. So you missed a little detail. No, because it's really important to understand the life they were living before he got the inheritance, right?
Yeah, I caught the whole thing then. Yeah, I caught it maybe a couple of seconds right after it started. But yeah, the whole thing about the taking her out for dinner and stuff like that. Yeah, I heard all of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
just pay attention to the language, because I think this is the thing, right? We do know that there's a lot of, discussion about high value men and blah, 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 and whatever in these streets. And I think sometimes it can pre-bias our judgments when we start hearing something that sounds like it. So now that you kind of heard it all the way through, right? Like, listen to the language he's using and the language they're using, because it is, I agree with Shar. I think it's really telling, and that's what's, changed my perception about him. Even like, I'm not even like mad. I almost feel sorry for him.
Yeah, he did. The hardest thing is telling somebody, look, baby, I'm sitting on $4 million right now. You was good enough for 45,000, but you ain't good enough for 7.4. So you got to bounce. So sometimes you just got to try to put the pressure on the person and try to force them to force themselves to leave. Yeah, I will start holding on to the money. Now, I ain't going to abuse you, no crazy crap like that. I'm not going to yell on you or no stuff like that. But I'm going to put enough pressure within this household to make you want to voluntarily leave up out of here, because you was good for 45,000 a year. You're just not up to par for 7.4.
And so then when she said she wanted to leave, would you beg her to stay? Would you promise to immediately change?
You asking me?
Yes.
No, I'll let her leave.
Right. So then if someone I'm
an asshole, but I'm not gonna kick someone out, but I'll put enough pressure on you for you to kind of skedaddle up out of here.
Right. And so if the person, because you just said you wouldn't, right? If you wanted to put that pressure on them to leave so you didn't have to leave, and we'll talk about how cowardly I think that is later. But for now, we'll just say that. And then you said, well, if you were putting on that pressure to make them leave, then when they finally said, I'm done with you, you would not beg them to stay. You would not make promises to immediately change all of the big issues. You would not do that because you want them to leave. And you said, well, yeah, that's what you would do. So I'm going to say then, well, given the fact that we have that connection, if he wanted her to go and he's forced her out finally, right, first of all, I don't see why you'd even show up to divorce court, because you could easily just say, no, I'm not going to show up to divorce court, and that's going to be enough for her and she's going to leave. But you show up, now she's done, she's ready to leave. You're going to be on national TV, right? Being seen all over the world by tens of billions of people, and you're going to beg her to stay and tell her that you're wrong, tell her you're going to immediately reverse your vasectomy and all of these things. Why would a man do that publicly unless he wanted the woman?
There's just some guys, they can't, they don't have what it takes to live that life. Now maybe between 19 to 20, I probably would have did the same thing like he did, but by the time I turned 21, 22, I was too much of an asshole. I'm like, look, I'll let you go. You want to go? This is what I do for you. I'll give you some cash to get yourself over the hump. But baby, you was good for 45,000 a year. You just ain't up to par for $7.4 million. I can buy me a 7, 8, or 9 or 10.
But
With
exactly,
low character, and that 7, 8, or 10 is the one that probably really wants your money. But yeah, you bought a 10. You're probably going to get a 10 in looks, but you'll probably get a 1 in character.
And I will stand by that. I am a man. Jack Spade is a man of low character. There we go.
At least you're honest.
Right.
You said it.
Let's continue.
I met.
He's more tight-fisted now than before the inheritance?
That's correct, yeah.
What do you have to say, Mr. Norcell, about why you're here today?
Your Honor, I'm going to do everything I can to keep this woman. I love this woman. I want to make it work. As for the money, $7.3 million, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's not like I have $7.3 million in the bank. It's not liquid. I have a beach house in Florida. I have stocks and bonds. It's not like I have it in the bank. So yes, I'm trying to make it last forever.
Okay, so you're saying you're being prudent.
Exactly, yes.
What do you say is going on? You said that the change happened right away. It's been 5 years. The inheritance was just the last couple of years. What do you say happened?
I feel like the money has completely changed him. He also doesn't want to take the next step forward. I want us to buy a bigger house. I want us to start a family. I want us to get engaged. You know, all of these things that come.
She wants to spend money.
Where do you live
People
now?
spend money, Sean. It happens. You spend money. You move up in life. That's how that goes.
Do you live in a house now?
We live together in his house, yes.
Okay.
It's a smaller house, but
it is a smaller house. Most of my things are still in storage. So I want a larger home that we can both fit in and hopefully raise kids in one day.
Are her items still in storage?
Yes, but storage is a lot cheaper than a whole other place. You know what I mean?
Okay. And you said that also just the time that the two of you spend together, the date nights, that's changed as well?
Yes. He refuses to go out anymore, refuses to spend any money on dinners, going out, doing fun things. Again, before we used to go out all the time, find fun things to do, go out to eat. That has completely stopped.
Really?
We stay at home. Why do we need to go out if we can just stay at home and eat in?
I think it's romantic to sit around and watch TV.
Occasionally, not
Mr.
every single
Norcell,
night.
what is the reason? Because now this is interesting. Because
Now, he thinks it's romantic. I'm not buying that. He's just gonna cut that off just totally. Oh, I just think it's romantic. Well, you're in a relationship, you know, maybe, okay, well, 3 weeks out the month, we gonna cook. Look here, I'm not gonna spend that much money now, okay? 1 weekend, we're gonna go out and have a good old time. I think that's fair. But he stopped totally. Completely. That's an issue and a flag. Something's going on here.
Yes. It's called the squeeze. And
yeah,
look,
I know
it's hard. It's hard to kick someone out. I've had to kick 2 people out. It's not comfortable for me to do. But like I said, they've been together for X amount of years. It's kind of hard to tell her, look, baby, I got $7.4 million in assets. You got to go. So you just kind of put the squeeze on the person.
Right. So you would start off though, right, by saying, I love this woman, I'm going to do everything I can to keep her, right? Because you're secretly putting the squeeze on her to get rid of her. That's how you would start that sentence, right?
Yeah, you don't want to look like the bag. I don't care. I'm already going to burn in hell for a whole lot of stuff I've already done. This right here, this ain't going to make it any different.
No, the fact of the matter is this, okay? And I mean, you know this about men. I don't even know why we're having this discussion. The last thing men want to make themselves look like, especially in public on again syndicated TV show, is to make themselves look weak, make themselves look like simps, make themselves look like they're beggy for a woman. This is the last thing they want, especially if, as you said, well, now he's got $7.4 million. So, that's going to kind of put him into a higher tax bracket, into a higher tax bracket world. And so the last thing you would do is want to look like you are begging and pleading for this not 789 woman, or really any woman, right? Because if you're thinking like that in and of itself, now you're too good to be begging for a woman, especially not like this one with the ankles and and all the stuff that you listed, right?
The ankles.
Yeah, the ankles one. So like you're saying things that are not consistent with this man, right? You're talking about you. I think we all agree and believe that is 100% you, all of us. I don't think anyone has that in question. But I don't think it applies to this man. It doesn't. Nothing he is saying and doing is telling us that that's the way he feels about this woman.
It
really,
you just have some guys, they just can't live. They can't live my life. They've got to. They want to be nice, but they also want to, have their autonomy. And I think this is one of those type of guys where he wants his autonomy. He feels that with the money he can get a better looking girlfriend, cohabitation partner, a wife, but he really doesn't have that oomph about himself to just drop the hammer and get it moving. I've known some guys that's like that, and I feel sorry for him. I'm thinking of, like my son, that's one person. Like my brother, that's another person. I mean, I understand what they want to be, but they just ain't me. So then they're like that guy.
Yeah, but I also know some men who, when they say, I love her and I want to do anything to keep her, they mean it, even if the woman is only a 4 or 5 in looks, even if she's overweight, even if he is a multimillionaire. Because when they were talking about a wife and what they actually want in life, they actually found it in that woman. Right. And so they have what they want. They don't want to lose what they have because they have what they want as far as a woman. The issue is not the woman. The issue is themselves. And so, again, you keep trying to put it on this man that because for you, this woman would not be good enough, especially if you had $7.4 million. That's really what you're telling us. That's fine. Right. But first of all, men have different tastes. In general, right? Men are not a monolith. They have different tastes. And this woman might be this man's taste. And or the love and the other things that this woman is, when combined with the looks that he thinks are at least cute or he appreciates at least a little bit, overall makes her the ultimate woman for him. You can't take that away from him just because she's not great to you as far as looks.
I mean, now if I was his friend, I would let him know from the rip. Look, bro, you making this stuff more confusing. You giving me mixed signals. Either you want her or you don't want her. You need to make up your mind. You can't straddle the fence. You gotta be on the left side of the fence. You gotta be on the right side of the fence. Make up your mind and live with consequences. But the stringing along and you kind of want to do this, but you kind of don't want to do this. You want you look. Make up your mind what you want. If you want to keep her with her goods and bads, if you don't want her, let her go. And like I said, both sides, there's going to be advantages and disadvantages and consequences and successes. Live with your decision because you can't continue this for the next 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah, that I absolutely agree with. I want to add though too, right? There's a difference between.
Don't say that in public that we agree on something.
Come on now, Mr. Spade. You know it happens once in a blue moon. Come on. But no, I will say this. I want to add this. There is a difference between someone who is a high value man, right, and a high earning man. But here's the thing. There's a third variable, a third option here, right? So high value man, it's not just someone who makes a lot of money every year, right? But then he's got the social circles and he's got the social pull and all those other things, right? So there's other factors to the high value man. Then you have the high earning man. And I still think someone who earns a lot of money every year, right? They built themselves to that point. They've earned it, right? So they have a certain level of, we'll say, leadership and confidence and durability and all those things that you get from building yourself up, in the corporate world or maybe in your own business or whatever it is, right? And so that establishes you differently too. Let's not forget that this man was in essence just handed a bunch of properties and stuff like that and whatever, right? That total $7.4 million. But he's still an average earning man. Like nothing about his life or lifestyle changed as far as, like what he's doing, right? He is still working his $40,000 a year job, right? He still has $40,000 a year power. He still has $40,000 a year leadership. Nothing about him has inherently changed just because this money was handed down to him. It's not like a whole business was handed down to him. Now he's been running this mega corporation for 2 years, right? Like
Right.
he was handed some nice stuff. That's really great. It'll be great for retirement, but he hasn't lived a life or gone through a bunch of massive life changes or whatever that would make him a different person now, or that would make him really see things all that differently. I think it's just for the first time in his life, he finally has some type of financial safety net or some type of financial security that he's just never had before. He doesn't know how to make that work long term. A lot of people aren't necessarily comfortable in understanding real estate as so. And it sounds like a lot of that $7.4 million is in real estate, right? They're more comfortable with cash money. I got money in the bank. They understand that more than they understand having real estate and how to leverage that into making more money and blah, blah, blah. So I think that he hasn't changed, right? Like he has this stuff, but it's just something else he fears. He fears losing it. He fears squandering it. He fears being taken advantage because of it. And he still has all of his old fear that he used to have and all of his old insecurity he used to have. He just has more fear now and more problems. I think that's really where this guy is.
Of course, because let me at 56 run across $7.4 million in assets. I mean, like I said, I'm cheap, I'm stingy, I'm an asshole, I'm overprotective now. I'll become even ultra everything about myself with that amount of assets. Let's say $300,000 is cash and everything else is assets. Yeah, I'll act the same way too. I'll be worse. I don't trust people as it is now. That means I won't trust nobody.
I believe you. Trust me. I definitely believe you. And I mean, they didn't talk about it, right? They didn't talk about a lot of different things. So, to be fair, we don't know some things, but we do know he was married once before. He was also engaged once before. We know he has 2 children. We know that the way he feels about those children, that he is stuck paying for them for 18 years.
Yep,
right?
that's how he feels. Yep.
Exactly. We don't know how those relationships went. I'm going to actually assume that, okay, this might be a bad assumption. I apologize, y'all. I do. I got a lot of rapping to do, so maybe it just puts me in a bad mood. But I'm going to assume this. I'm going to assume that the women he had before were actually better looking, okay, than the one he has now. Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with her. I'm just saying when we talk about from an objective standpoint, as far as being thin and, the bombshell blonde and whatever, I think that those were the women he was with before. And I think that those women walked all over him and used him and manipulated him. Maybe were even a little emotionally or mentally abusive, like stuff like that. Like they were just terror. They were terror. And so I think he actually went out of his way to find a woman that wasn't a bombshell. He wanted to have an average woman, which a lot of men do when they're ready for a wife, right? They go, oh, right, I should look for, character and internal values. So I need to find someone who has all that on lock, and the looks are passable for me, right? But I got to find the other stuff on lock because I know what those pretty faces are about, especially when they bite you in the ass because divorce. They bite you in the ass because crazy child support payments, whatever it is, right? So that's what I think happened with him. And so now he's with this woman, and she's it. She's perfect in every way. I think he does probably really love her. She doesn't care. Like, he got the inheritance and she went, "Oh, good for you. Congratulations." Like, it had nothing to do with her. She didn't care.
Yeah, I
That's
think
not what
her
she's there
character
for.
is good. I think she has a good character. He
Mhm.
has absolutely nothing bad to say about her. He has
Right.
absolutely not one thing, you
Mhm.
know. And another thing you got to look at too is, you know, he was married before, engaged. You know, he probably got married really young. So the woman that he was with previously, his first wife, they might have been the same age. You know, the second woman maybe a little bit younger, but then he moves on to, you know, like he was what, you know, like 36 when they got together, and she was like 24. You know, that's on the young side, you know. So he did get someone who was younger, you know, and maybe he felt that if he did have someone younger, he would have a little bit more control over it or over the situation.
Right. Or maybe it was a matter of the youth being the kind of the, so you, like, you know, it's like, okay, men want youth and they want beauty and they want this and they want that. So maybe it was like, okay, well, you know, if I get the youth, at least that's one. They're gonna look at it and be like, yo, she's not as hot as your ex-wife. Yeah, but she's 24. Oh, so you see what I'm saying? He still got a little young thing, at least, you know? And
But,
it's
you know,
baby fat.
Straight off.
She'll grow out of it.
But you know, you got some guys out here, and these are the ones they mess the whole game up because they don't want to go all the way into it. They want to, like you said, she's 24, but she's 24. She might be a 5. She got a little weight on her, blah, 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 blah. So those guys, I don't like dealing with those guys. I'm like, look, if you're going to do it, you need to go full tilt. Can't go quarter. You can't go half. Can't go 3/4. You got to go all the way into. You got to go all the way in. Now, once you go all the way in, you got to live with what comes about it. I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages, success and consequences to everything that you're going to do. Can't half step. If you're going to do something, go ahead and do it. And I do agree with you, Classic Ruby, about the once you get to that certain stage in life and you're ready to get married, you kind of change the type of woman that you're looking for. Because my ex-wife doesn't look like my son's mother nor the women that I dealt with before she came along.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it makes sense because we
'cause
know that people who've been lifelong beautiful, let's be real, their character tends to suck a lot, right? Like, this is what it is.
Now, you know, I didn't deal with strippers, but they were stripper like. If anybody pointed out, they were like, "Yeah, man, she's a stripper." But no, she's not a stripper, but she is a stripper like. She has the tangibles to be a stripper. She just has not decided to cross that line.
Okay, yeah,
All
I
right.
see what you're getting at.
Just like some women date guys that look like football players, but they never played football. That's what we talk.
Yep. No, I got it in my head. I can see who you're talking about.
And you know, it's too.
What the heck just happened here? Somebody sleeping in my bed, baby.
Google asked Kevin Samuels. He had that man on the floor. Wouldn't even let him be in bed.
I don't know what's up with these glitches.
Couldn't even take his high value money and buy that man a doggone air mattress. Had him sleep on the damn floor. Oh, cheap ass. I'll do something like that. Oh, but it'll be a female.
You a mess.
I'm just saying. I mean, he just paid off all his child support in May, so maybe I didn't say it.
Set to come.
Right, exactly, right. But he had to pay off the child support and stuff. He got that as of May. He could, so maybe the bed came after that. give him time. He's only been a long time high value man for like a few months now, right? Just give him a second to catch up. Right.
I did the smart thing. I went ahead and just got my damn son.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay. I've told that joke a couple of times, and I tell people 95% of what I said is true. The other 5% of it is fluff.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Jack is a mess. I'm gonna play some more here.
All right.
Because before, when you were on a more limited budget, the two of you went out more to dinners.
Yes, he was much more generous.
And now that you actually have some spare change, there's no coin shortage in the Northsdale household. You cut back on going out to dinners and having those special date nights.
I think it's more romantic to stay home. I kind of become a homebody as I get older.
Are you more concerned? Because we all hear the stories about how people win the lottery. They come into a lot of money, and they call it the curse, the lottery curse. Because what ends up happening is they don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to finance it. They have a bunch of new friends, family members they never heard of, all of a sudden start showing up, and they go through the money.
I'm worried about that. I have financial advisors that are helping me with that.
Yeah.
But yes,
But you
there's a
still have to
major
live your
concern.
life.
I do not want to go back to.
Just remember, Ms. Duax was with you before the money.
That is true. And I'm taking
Before
that.
the inheritance. So the fact that you have regressed on your date nights and almost fallen prisoner to this inheritance because you're making all of these decisions, now you're being even more of a penny pincher when you have a few pennies to spare.
It's hard to explain. I want to make sure that our future is secure.
But when are we getting to that future? You haven't proposed. We don't have any kids. You don't want a bigger house. It's been 5 years. I'm ready for the next step, but I don't want to wait forever for something that's not going to happen.
Are you financially independent?
I do okay for myself.
But you said that you have an allowance.
Yes. So since he's received this money, he has given me $100 a week to supplement my own income. I never asked him to do this. This was at first a generous thing, a gift, from him. But it's become this kind of show me receipts. What are you spending it on? It comes with a price. The money comes with
Receipts
a price.
for
Hold
what?
on. I've
What
done that
I'm
a
spending.
couple times. It's not like I do it every time.
What do you
like,
need to see receipts for?
well, I want to
At all?
make sure that she's not just spending to spend.
You're only giving $100 a week. Isn't that money hers when you give it to her? That's what teenagers get.
It is, but
One's 15-year-old daughter gets 200. You give her 100.
if I'm going to spend my future with her, I want to make sure that she's not going to spend all the money.
Why? If you give it as a gift, why do you then think you can judge what she spends it on?
Well, if you give a little and she spends all of it, if she's not saving, I'm worried that she's a couple things. I mean,
It's hard to save on $100 a week. Sir, if you're giving her $100 a week in spending money, so you're saying that she should be investing in stock and making that money grow?
she can try it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I get worried too that what if I give her more money and she is like planning an escape to get away? What if she's not happy with me? Not trying to be controlling or anything, but I also don't want to finance her leaving. You know what I mean?
Okay. What if? You got a what if going on. At least he's honest about it, I don't want to finance. What if she skips? What has happened to this man in the past?
I think Judge Faith is right. He was he is buying her, right? So he is like, okay, I am too scared, but I can't lose her. So I'm trying to buy a middle ground while I work up my courage to move forward in life.
Right.
Right? Like, he's clearly terrified of life, like, in a way, right? And I'm not trying to be rude or nothing. All right, gentlemen, please. Well, actually, you can come for me all you want. I don't care. But anyway, I think he's very emasculated at this point in his life. I think that the things he experienced, and more importantly, how he chose to deal with those things and why he was in those positions and whatever, I feel like his masculinity, his like internal sense of masculine took such a hit that now he's entirely emasculated. So he is basically sitting still, sometimes walking in circles, and scared. He's scared to move forward as a man. And I think that this woman is traditional. When I say traditional, I mean as in she is maybe not like, maybe they didn't have discussion with words and stuff, but I think that she is the type that's like, hey, a wife submits to her husband, so you're the leader, right? So lead us into the future, lead us to the next steps, and I will support that, and we'll build a traditional family. And he is too scared, right? He's too gun shy, because that masculinity, that sense of self and leadership and direction that he used to have is gone. That's what I think happened here.
Ruby, I've got to agree with you 100%. Damn it, two times one night. Lord have mercy.
Dad, you don't let them catch you saying that now. And one of us is gonna have issues with it. It's gonna be you. They're gonna be like,
I think it's gonna snow in Miami tomorrow.
I think it will. Y'all better be careful.
Dang. Wow.
Oh, I know, right? It's another Christmas miracle.
It's a miracle. All right. Let's play a little more.
All right.
Wow, that is such an interesting perspective. Is it because you've been together for 5 years and you haven't proposed?
See, it feels like the walls are closing on that too. I mean, I'm not trying to be. If we were to get married, would you sign a prenup?
I don't know, Sean. That's something we've never talked about before. It's something I'm open to.
Okay. Well, then that's something that we can discuss when we get to that point. That's one of the things that worries me. I'm worried about.
Now, he's worried about me leaving, but he's the one that constantly has his phone flipped down, face down, running to it every time it rings or dings or anything. I mean, there have been so many times I've been suspecting that he's been cheating on me because he's so possessive about this phone. Like, if it goes off, I can't even hand it to him.
What do you think is happening?
He's talking to other people. The one time he was in like another room, the phone went off and it made a sound very similar to one of the dating apps that we had previously met on.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes flying in from the other room to turn it off and put it on vibrate. So I, of course, asked about it. And he said, "Oh, it's just a work email. That's not the sound that emails."
It was, and it was obviously important because they kept emailing. I wanted to get to it, make sure.
But if it was just an email, why couldn't I hand you your phone?
So did you see any of the dating apps on his phone, or you just say you heard the sound?
I have never been in his phone, close to his phone. He keeps it very, very
well. You would
secure.
be the first in this courtroom, Ms. Dulac.
Okay. I got
Are
something
you
to say
back on
about
the
this
dating?
because we didn't address it last time.
Yeah.
So this is what I think about that. I think that he is absolutely on the apps, dating apps or whatever it is, but not to date. I know it's gonna sound crazy. I wrote an article about this years ago, and I called it the puppy dog philanderer. I'll explain to y'all what I meant by that. So what do puppies want? Puppies want your love, right? They want you to play with them and scratch behind their ears and tell them they're good boys. And there are men who cheat emotionally or physically for that reason, right? Because they know that as men in their household, they don't want to be a kid that you're just always patting on the head and saying, good boy, and directing. They want to be the man of their household. But at the same time, they lack so much self-worth. They feel so lowly. They feel so terrified about life that they require that kind of feedback. So it's a catch-22. They require feedback from their woman that they can't get because if they were to get it from the woman, then it would make them worse. So what they do is they try to keep it together at home, but they reach out to other women to pat them on the head and tell them they're a good boy. And I think that is what this dude was doing.
I wouldn't put that past it.
That's
I can
interesting.
see that. Because if he would go to the app for dating, then he'll be caught up with spending money, which will be crazy. So what is it that he desires? The attention, so I could see that.
Right? Because he ain't trying to spend more money on anyone at all. Right? So it's not about that. It's about getting that rush that you get when someone swipes right too, when a chick sends you the boob pics, when someone tells you, oh my God, no one ever listens, you're the greatest listener, right? It's just getting patted on your head and told how wonderful and great you are under the context of when you have no responsibility. right? Because that's in essence what it is, right? A lot of people do it in general, even when they're single, but they don't get into relationships because they know that in a relationship, now people aren't looking at you in a bubble. They're looking at you in the context of life and adulting and relationships. So you might be a really great person independently of life, but you might suck as an adult, right? So it's
Yeah.
like you just want someone to tell you how beautiful you are, you know, how smart you are, how this you are, how that you are. You don't want someone to then turn around and say, yeah, but you don't, that doesn't really translate into real life, does it? Right? Like you don't want that. So
Right. You can leave
But
it just right there.
but
mhm,
I would think that I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't, man. It's like the more I talk to people, the more I just don't know what the hell, goes on in people's heads. I mean, I would think that he would want a solid person in his corner.
mhm,
What does it matter what another chick thinks? The chick that you want to think that you're the greatest is the one that you're with. It's the
mhm.
same thing for a woman. Why would you care about getting attention from other men when you want to make sure that, the man that you're with, if he thinks you're the hottest, not saying that you're not going to keep yourself up, but it's like, is that's just a problem.
Because
That's a
it's
problem.
about reality. Like think about it this way, right? The way that you saw like your ex, right? When you guys first met, when you first started dating, the way you
Mhm.
saw him is entirely different than you saw him 5 years into marriage. Um, and it just has to do with like real life. Like you might still think, yeah, of course he's still good looking. Of course he's still this. Of course he's still that. Like it's not about not feeling those things for each other. It's just about the fact that like I can't look at you like you're like this magical being I've never met before because I have, and I know all of your dirty secrets now, right? So I look at you like you're imperfect, right? Because you are imperfect, and I talk to you about problems because we have problems, and I turn to you for adulting because we require that in order to survive. So it's different than when you are brand newly dating someone and you don't share those responsibilities, right? They don't know about your $300,000 of debt, right? And you don't know that they've killed 3 people. Like it's just you don't know any of those things. You're just judging someone based on their personality in the moment, and that's all. And so it's so easy to like someone and to think that they're super awesome before you have all this extra context, right? So I think that that's really what it is.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He's the type of
I
he's
sorry,
the
go
type
ahead.
of person I will have to say, look, bro, you need to make up your mind. You're gonna have to take charge of what's going on here. Either you're gonna keep her, you're gonna allow her to stay with you, and you keep her. You got to make that decision. You're either gonna want to keep her, but she lives in separate dwellings. That's one thing. If you just want to let her go totally, that's good enough. But if the next person comes along, you need to be honest with how you want that person in your life. Either you want somebody, but they live in their own dwelling, that's fine. If you want to move somebody in, there's going to be advantages and disadvantages of that. You just got to make up your mind and live with it. He wants the best of all the worlds, and
Mm-hmm.
in reality, it's not working out for him, and it's not going to work out for any other woman that comes along. Notably, the one that he already has in the picture.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
So, like I said,
Reality is not working out for him at all.
that's like I said, that's you just have those guys out here. They just can't stand on something and just live with the goods, the bads, and the consequences. They want the best of all the worlds, and he's one of them.
I don't even know if it's always that they want the best of all worlds. Of course, we definitely see that, especially with the millennials and Gen Zs, because we were born into the easy button era. But I think a lot of times what you're actually seeing are people who are paralyzed with fear and indecision because they think like like when you're a kid, you think all adults are like there are these magical beings who are like all knowing and all powerful and all like there's someone else. Like, and then
Yeah.
as you get older and you get to those ages, you don't feel different. right? You don't feel like an adult. You don't feel the way you looked at those adults when you were a kid, right? And you saw these grown-ups, and then you get to 25 and you don't feel like a grown-up. You feel like yourself, right? And for a lot, especially I'll say my generation, especially, that is terrifying because we had this belief, kind of like when you have this belief that you're going to lose your virginity and wake up and you're going to be a different person, and then you're not. You've just gotten fucked before. Excuse my French. Like it's the same thing. We thought we were going to get to this age, 25, 29, 32, 35. You think you're going to get to an age where you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be this different thing. You're going to be this adult who just understands inherently the world, right? This adult who is just a leader, who is just masculine, who is just feminine, who is just all these things. You just think you're going to wake up and be that thing. Because when you were a kid, you saw all those adults and they seemed to be those things to you. You didn't understand that your parents were real people, right? And therefore they could make mistakes. It's like that. And I think that even when we learn that our parents can make mistakes and they are people, I think we still keep that magical thing in our head. So when we get to 35 and we still don't have it, it still didn't click in, we think we've done something wrong, right? Obviously, that's why we're failing, because we didn't do the thing to bring us to the magical adult place. Oops. Okay, well, how do I find the magical adult place? And then you're focusing on trying to become this magical adult so that way your life works out, instead of realizing that, oh, when you were 5, you saw things wrong, because adults are exactly the same. They're just a little older than you. Right? Like, that's about it. Just been on the planet a little bit longer.
Oh my God! I think we need to shut the live stream down. I'm agreeing with you for a third time. Oh Jesus Christ!
No. Okay, no. This is unacceptable, Char. Unacceptable.
Amazing things happen. Tis the night, even though it is Christmas. Tis the night before Christmas. All kind of magic.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that because I'm struggling with that with my son. He's 29. He'll be 30 in September, and I'm constantly telling him, "Hey, you need to get ready to start taking the next step." And this has been going on since like 18, and he'll take like a quarter of a step, he'll take a half step, but when I tell him, "Look, you need to take the full step," and once you take that step, do what you need to do and prepare for the next step. He's kind of slow on being where I need him to be. Like I said, he's 29. I need him to be at 29. He's kind of like still at 23, 24.
Right.
Mm.
Yep.
Is he aware of that?
Adolescence.
Is he aware of that?
Oh,
That's something you guys have discussed, you know.
I really don't know, because one of the things that he told me that I try to run his life, which in a nutshell, yeah, I am trying to run your life because I need you to be at this particular spot, not for you, but now I have a grandchild. Before it was your potential wife, potential grandchild. So now he has the wife, and now he has the grandchild. So I'm especially like, bro, I need you here, not for you, but because this is what your wife is expecting out of you, and this is what your child or grandchildren, if they have any more, is going to be expecting out of you. So yeah, I need you here for them, not so much for you. Now, if he was single with no children, I'll still be, hey, I need you in this particular spot just in case a wife or children comes along. But now, bro, you are here. You have the wife, you have the child. So you need to get up to speed because, like I said, everybody has expectations of you. Her, the granddaughter, and myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not even speaking for what her parents may have expectations on him.
Right.
Only from what you could see. Yeah.
You know what's interesting, and I've had this conversation before, and when I talk to the men and I try to explain to men, they don't necessarily believe it or buy it, especially in my generation, right? Which is what do women want? What are women really looking for, right? And so the men are connecting what women are looking for to the surface quality. So, for example, with the high value man, right? It's like, well, women want the money, right? That good woman, she wants the money. She wants this really cushy lifestyle and all the money you can offer her, right? Well, and I'm talking about good women. I'm not talking about like, all these lost people. I'm talking about the good ones. Here's the thing. They don't want the money. The reason why they want the high value man, quote unquote, is not because of the money. It's because of the characteristics of someone who could earn over $150,000 a year, who could build themselves up to that place. It's not about them wanting to live in your mansion or whatever. It's about being with someone who has that kind of drive, and integrity and confidence and whatever, to build themselves to a place where they can own a villa on the beach, right? So, well, because that's in essence what we evolved to want. We want a man who can get things. It's not about what you have, it's about what you can get. It's not about what is handed to you, it's about what you are able to oppose the environment to earn. Right? Someone who, if I met someone, right, and they had a trust fund, right, and they had a great job, and I've been in this situation before, 100%. But then I come to find out, basically everything was handed to him. That is less attractive to me than someone who only makes $50,000 a year, but they busted their butt coming from lower than life poverty to get themselves to where they are now. And I hear that they worked 3 different jobs while they were going to school full time to get that degree, and then they're doing this, and I'm like, ooh, he's got grit. Right? He's got that internal grounding and confidence, belief in self. He's got drive. So I know that man is going to be able to oppose the environment no matter what happens, no matter what kind of layoffs or economy crashes or whatever happens. He is going to be able to fight always, even if we fall, to get us back on our feet. That is different than someone who already has something. But if it's gone, if someone takes it away from them, they're going to throw their hands up and go, I have no idea how to get it back. We're screwed. And they're stuck, right? So I think that's what happened a lot with my generation, at least, is they saw their parents. Remember, I only dated people who had married parents. They saw their parents. They saw what their parents had now, right? And they thought, okay, well, if I just get those surface things, then it's going to magically make me that adult that I need to be in order for me to be a husband and a father and a this and a that. And I'm going to wait till I get what my parents have now in order for me to start that. But I also want to get married now. So, oh wait, I found the right woman. Okay, I'm going to be with that woman, right? And we're just going to stay together for 25 years. It's going to be fine. It's going to work out. No, seriously, that is the way my generation is thinking. It's really strange because they want to get married right now. They do, but they think that in order for them to be men, right, and to have what they need to have in order to be leaders and to be fathers and husbands, they have to have what dad has now, what they can remember dad having now, instead of saying, oh no, but dad and mom, no, they started out broke as hell, man. We were living in that Roach Motel for like 2 years. I remember that. No, they don't go back to that and say, oh, well, they started together and they were broke and they built to something. They think they like skip that part and think, oh, I have to go get all these other things now. And then that's my identity. My identity is my job. My identity is how much money I have in the bank, right? Like your identity is not your character. It's not everything you've worked to be as a person. It's all this surface crap that doesn't matter. Yeah, right? It's like, that has nothing to do with it. This is my buddy now. He has a better identity, right? He's got $7.4 million and he's scared to spend 1 cent of it, because then his identity is going to go down from 7.4 million to 7.39 million. And now he's lesser. Yeah. Really.
Well, I mean, I understand. I empathize with the position he's in, because you mentioned it before about, I think you mentioned it. I had walked away, but I think I had heard, oh shit, senior moment. All right, skip that one. I lost where I was going to go with that one. But hey, Ruby, you didn't hear my upload called The Moving Boxes on my channel, did you? No, if you no, you didn't.
I don't know. I don't read the titles of stuff. What did it say?
whenever you find the time, just go back to my channel and listen to the moving boxes. You'll see the thumbnail is with the moving truck. Listen to that one. You'll get it. You get a trip out of that one.
Okay.
But yeah, but basically, I empathize with the guy's fear. He wants to have someone in his life, but he wants someone that wants him for him and not for the money. So that's part of the reason why he wants her there, but he doesn't want her there. Because if she's able to live independent of her own, then she might not be so much into getting her claws into his money. And that ties into with them now all of a sudden not wanting to go out and eat, because it's like, okay, she was cool with $50 dinner, because entree and drinks and tip and taxes, that's about damn near $50 if you're going like Applebee's or something like that. So it's like, okay, would she be fine with the way that we're living, even with the money? If we do have a child, will she stay in the picture, or will she leave me like the last woman? If he only had a child by one woman, or maybe two women, will she treat me better with more than the other women? And that's one of those things, you're not going to be able to find that perfect it to satisfy you. You're going to have to take a risk, either letting her go, because it's obvious. It doesn't sound like she'll do. We'll stay together, but we'll live in different dwellings. I think that relationship with them is said and done with. But when the next woman comes along, will she be satisfied with keeping her place, I keep my place, and we date? What if we do 2 or 3 years, and then I finally move her in, and I finally tell her that I'm sitting on X amount of money? How is she going to act? How is she going to treat me? Is she going to use me? So,
but this is the perfect example, though. I mean, because she was in this particular situation, she was with him before the money, and she didn't even blink twice. It wasn't even a big deal to her. That was his money. She's just like, I'm just wanting to do like the same things we did. We're doing even less. And then on top of that, when you're dealing with a relationship with another person, and there has to be some vulnerability there. It just has to be. You're not going to get, absolute guarantees that, okay, so after you have a baby, you're not going to get crazy on me. Or after we get married, you're not going to, try to keep me in the house all the time. Unless there are red flags, but they've been progressing in their relationship, fairly fine. It just seems like the problems did not come until this fool got this money. And then all of a sudden, his insecurities just bubbled up to the top like a cauldron. And now they're just there. And this woman is like taking the brunt of all of his insecurities. And I don't think that's fair to her. I mean, she can't give him any absolutes. It's like, dude, I was with you when you was broke. So now that you have money, you want to further test me to see if I'm, going to spend up all your money. I mean,
it's absolutely ridiculous. And, I think, and Rhonda's making such a valid point, is that if you already have the money, okay, and then you meet somebody, okay, you have very valid fears and concerns. I think everyone would understand that. I think the problem here is that you already had a woman who, in her prime years, right, 24 years old, prime years, picked you and has given you nothing to be concerned about, has obviously been devoted and dedicated enough that you wanted to start building a future with her, which is why she moved in with you, and so on and so forth. And she was willing to move in with you and put all of her stuff in storage, rather than saying, well, no, you take some of your shit out and put it in the storage too, so some of mine come in. She said, no problem. You know what? Because we're building towards something bigger and better. Cool. No problem. And she's someone people talk about, they want someone they can work with. She's beyond someone you can work with. And she's listening to what his goals are, and she's supporting them. And he gave her timelines, and she supported them. Now you're at year 5, right? And she's sitting there saying, well, no, 2 years ago, you got this money, threw off all the timelines, threw it all of our relationship all together. And here's the thing. You taking her on a date night is not about the money. It's about the consideration of her as a woman, as someone you love. You want to do something just a little nice, a little bit special for her, right?
Right.
People's love languages differ. For me, I really like good food, and there's very few restaurants out there that can beat what I could cook myself. So with that being said, I don't really care to be taken out to restaurants all the time. It's not my thing, right? I don't care to be wrapped with roses all the time. Not my thing. But some women do, right? They have different love languages. When you do these things, it tells them you thought of them today. It gives them an opportunity for them to respond in kind, so on and so forth. He took all of that away from their relationship. So he made the relationship barren. And he did that because he was focused on the surface bullshit, i.e., the money, instead of focusing on the relationship and the interaction between the two of them and what those things mean. Because I agree, listen, we've been doing date night once a week inside of the house since COVID started. And you know what? You can make that very romantic. You can make that wonderful. I bought Mr. Ruby a big plushy robe because I already had one, right? And so date night, sometimes we get dressed up to have date night in the house, and sometimes we wear big plushy robes and just hang out and watch movies, right? So it's not the fact that you can't, watch movies and it can be romantic or whatever. It's about the fact that he's clearly not making an effort to make it a date at home. It's just, we're just sitting at home already watching TV, so let's keep watching it. That is not a date, right? That is not taking that time out, making her feel like, no, you know what, I'm devoting all my attention and time to you, making you feel special, which is important, especially for women. It's very important that women feel that way, right? Just like it's very important that women stroke men's male ego. Very important.
Yeah, but he claims it's more romantic. Well, the woman is telling you, okay, not to me. I want to go out sometimes.
True.
Oh, I become more of a homebody. Okay, you got more excuses and more excuses, sir, each and every time.
Well, I got two folds on this one. So the first one is, if I was his friend, I'll let him know you need to draw a line in the sand and be honest with how much you're willing to lose. And that's something I try to give people advice when it comes down to dating and stuff like that. Be honest with what you're willing to lose. If you're willing to lose $20,000 with her, and a lot of it also depends on how much does he have in liquidated cash. But okay, if you're willing to lose $5,000 with her, draw the line, and that's all you spend. Once you max out that $5,000, if she's not where you believe you feel comfortable with her in your life, then let her go. But you're gonna have to draw a line. The dates, no dates and dates and all this kind of stuff, that's just nothing more than mixed signals. If the $50 a date was fine, then leave it at $50. If you can do up to $65, then that's the max, and let her know, look, I really don't want us to go out and spend no more than $75. We'll do $75 on Christmas Eve, Valentine's, your birthday, our anniversary, but any other time I would like us to try to keep our date night $50 or below. That's what he has to voice. And so that's the first part. Second part. So I don't exactly have a girlfriend. I have a lady friend. So we've been kicking it now exclusively. I say about maybe 3 years.
Okay.
3 years.
So
I purchased a house 2 years ago. So I hold the deed. She does not know that I own this house. I tell her that I'm paying a mortgage. Now, so there's just sometimes you just don't let folks know exactly that was my phone. You don't let folks know exactly everything that you got going on. So I can understand him kind of acting the way he acts. But the next thing is, once she goes, the next young lady that comes in, don't tell her how much money you got. Just let her know I'm doing okay. My job pays well. But don't tell her about the assets and stuff like that. Just keep her, even if y'all two get married, She don't need to know that you got X amount of money or assets stashed to the side.
Your
Let her know
marriage
when
will
you
absolutely fail if you run it that way.
watch your mouth.
Absolutely.
Watch your mouth.
Oh,
It's true. You know what? I told someone, I told Q this because I think I've already said it publicly. I told Q the exact same thing because he said the same thing. His wife has no idea how much he made or if he has savings or anything. And I said, your marriage will absolutely fail if it has that level of secrecy about such basic things. And it did, right? Because at the end of the day, right, a marriage, well, what is a marriage? A marriage is two people living as one, right? It's not me against the world. Now it's us against the world. So if you can't have that basic level of trust and communion and right transparency, we have this much money. We make this much money yearly. We are making these plans. We are going in this direction. If it's not a we thing, then it's not a marriage. So eventually it's going to fail because eventually one side or the other is going to want some aspect of marriage that can't happen because the foundations are not marriage. You don't have a foundation of marriage. You have a foundation of like casual dating, which is fine if you're casually dating. Not as fine if you are married or you are in a place where you are exclusive, if you're planning marriage, if you're planning children, if you are cohabitating, right? Like these are things like you're actually building a future. If you're building a future together, how do you build a future based on hiding lies and secrecy?
Well, I mean, we can find out that I'm sitting on bank once I die. It'll be all in the will.
Yeah, no. No, definitely not. It doesn't listen, it doesn't work. And I understand, right, that there's a need and a reason for people to be careful and blah blah blah. But here's the thing: if you've got to hide, if you've got to lie, if you don't feel that you can just be open, honest, transparent about your life with this person, it's not the right person. So stop wasting your time because eventually it's going to fail. Like you already know it's going to fail. And you know why it's going to fail? Because you don't trust them.
It's easy. When you come across $7.4 million, I will help you. I will help you hide it.
Uh-oh. Jack is just too much.
I will tell you every way you can hide it and still feel good about yourself when you look in the mirror.
No, you know what my husband said? If he ever won the lotto, he wouldn't tell anyone because people start coming out of the woodworks looking for money, right? So he said, like if he won the lotto, he wouldn't even go pick up the money. He would send me to go pick it up. So that way, because they always put the name of the person who won in the newspaper, and he wouldn't want it to be his name. So he would send me to go pick up the money. And then he said he wouldn't even want access to it because he knows that he's irresponsible with money. Like his mind would just be blown and he would just start blowing, right? So he said he would want like maybe $250,000 to have access to, so he could pretend that he's gonna, be an adult, but probably waste most of it, and then the rest of it give some to his mom and whatever, and the rest of it is for me to put into savings and planning and whatever. So again, right? But why? Because he completely trusts me, because we have a completely open, transparent relationship, because our finances are 100% already open and combined, right? And to me, it sounds crazy that you would live life otherwise while you're married to someone. Like this, again, like you're married. The one person in the world who should know your finances, who should know all your business dealings, who should know all of that, the one person is your wife. Why? Because if you should become incapacitated in any way for any reason, the person who's going to be responsible for all of that is her. Or if you're, as a woman, it's him. Therefore, y'all need to know that about each other and about y'all's life together, because you're married.
She doesn't want you to pass away and then find out you don't have any life insurance. It's like, wait a minute, but you were so damn secretive, and now she's stuck with this body. She's like, now what am I going to do?
That's
Go
just
fund me.
That's just a chance I'll have to take. I'll hire me an attorney, that contingency attorney. When something happens to me, then he will come along and say, well, Mrs. Spade, I don't know how he'll set it up, but he'll let her know, madam, your husband is sitting on $7.4 million in assets.
No. Look, I would say, like, you know,
If she
listen,
know anything about it, he might come and tell her your husband was sitting on $2.4
yeah,
million in assets, and he ran
yeah,
away with the rest of it. You already dead, and she didn't know anything about it, so she don't know any different.
exactly.
That's just the chance I've got to take.
You'd rather your money go to a man you didn't even share your life with, rather than the woman who you did share time and space with. This dude, you saw him once a month or twice a year. Who knows?
Or
Whenever,
even worse
whenever,
than that. Worse than
whenever,
that is this. Who is going to tell the lawyer that you're dead?
I'll
For
read
the
the newspaper.
lawyer to come and tell her that there's $7.4 million that's supposed to go to her and your children. Who is going to tell that lawyer?
My homeboy, who I told him, hey, if anything happens to me, I need for you to contact this attorney.
Oh God.
Right.
Goodness. He is
Yeah, the
just too
homeboy would be
much.
like, yes, Mrs. Spade. He was sitting on $1.4 million
Yeah.
worth of assets. Your assets are getting lower and lower, and you didn't even share space and time with these men.
No, the homeboy don't know how much I got either. The homeboy's like, hey, if anything happens to me, I need for you to contact this guy, this attorney, because the attorney has such and such. You know, my attorney got the secret box for my wife.
And they're gonna set up the deal. You know, hey,
Right.
she don't know about it. You know about it, and me, between us, yeah, let's do it. Boom.
Right. I'm just saying, because at the end of the day,
I mean, it can
guess what? That
happen.
homeboy is more likely to turn on you and your wife and your finances than your wife is.
I'm
Real
dead.
talk.
I'm dead, so I'm good. Y'all,
Yeah, but
that's
you don't
y'all
care
problem.
about your kids? Of
Well,
course you
leave it
care
to the
about your
wife
kids.
then.
Oh, my son's adult. You're on your own, baby boy. That's why daddy got you the best education he could afford and disciplined you. You're on your own, baby.
So you built a legacy for what purpose? You didn't want to pass it down?
He's on his own, baby boy. That's why daddy spent all that money. Make sure you got a great basic education.
You full of it. No
As long as she
man.
don't get it, everything is fine. As long as she don't get it.
You're right.
Right.
No man works his whole damn life building something, and you know what? Then he's content for some random person to have that money over his own blood, to have that money to be able to build to the next generation. Come on now.
we talking about a wife, a spouse, correct?
Yes, but the thing is
Yeah.
that your wife is your next of kin. So your wife not having that information means that your son doesn't have that information, right?
That's
Like this is your wife having that information, having the knowledge, having the wherewithal of what to do next, which is all planning that you do together, which is all education that you give her about the money and about what you want to do and your wishes and whatever, and how to guide the son and all that stuff. Y'all do that together. So that way, when you do pass away, right, then you know your legacy is in good hands. Like
that
you worked your whole entire life, you don't care what happens to your legacy after you die. What was the point of working for it?
Oh, I did care. That's the reason why daddy made sure that his son was introduced to the best education, best basic education that daddy could afford. Now, I took you to the well, baby boy. Now, what you did with it, that's on you. But you can't say, well, my daddy ain't do nothing. Yeah. Now see, for me, if I was to get married again, well, my wife was not my son's biological mother. And if I get married again, of course, that's not going to be his biological mother. So if she decides to get screwy with the money, baby boy, your daddy provided you access to the best basic education in which he could afford. All them nights, daddy screaming and hollering and pounding on the table. This is the reason why.
The best basic education.
Now, you know, when I tell people that, they say, well, what about college? I said, bro, you have to understand, if you're a dumbass getting out of high school, you're not going to fare too well in college. So that is the reason why I made sure that he had access. And I always said access to the best basic education in which dad could afford.
All right. I'm going to give a shout out. We got a contribution from Vonda. So she has made Sheed sing. So she hit it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
How to hear the angels sing on Christmas Eve. Thank you, She. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it sounds confusing with the dude, but I empathize with him 100%. I understand the different branches it flows off in, but my thing with him is at the next person, you need to set it up correctly how you're going to do this, and you got to stick with it. Yeah, you made a mistake with this other person, but dude, you're young, man. All these damn women out here, you can find a better version of her.
Okay.
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 I told you I don't practice political correctness.
Okay.
No, it's not the political correctness issue. I just think you're wrong. It's like not because it hurts my feelings or whatever. I just think it overall. This is what I think. I think this. I think if we look at the people who are not only in the top 10%, right, but also the families, the ones who are able to pass down that generational wealth and whatnot, right? When we look at them, what we don't see is that mindset, this mindset that you're talking about there. It's not there, right? Because they understand the inherent value of certain things differently than I think, especially us middle classers, maybe upper middle class, but still middle class. 100K is still middle class, which is sad to say because so few people are making it. But anyway, us middle classers think like, and especially when we're talking about the Black community. So, because when you look at them, the way that they see marriage, for example, right, like those over 1,000 legal privileges of marriage, they know every single one of them, and they make sure to utilize those, right? The spousal privileges that you have as far as, telling secrets and whatnot, use that to the nth degree. The generational wealth passing down and stuff like that, and building and shaping and molding your son, your daughter, your children, basically to take the reins once you're gone and to keep running with it. You're training the wife to be able to continue molding them into that position if you should die early. Like they understand the inherent value of all of those things, right? There's no way when they make that move to get married, that's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about, ooh, she got a nice ass, nice titties, so she's a, but still she's sexy, so I'm gonna have babies with her. They don't think like that, right? They are thinking about all of those factors that they need as far as to be able to trust her, to be 100% open with her, the ride or die, not on the struggle of way, but ride or die as far as like, yo, man, if I had to come home and I killed 3 people, she's going to get the shovel to help me bury the bodies because that's what we got to do, right? Like they're thinking about things when it comes to a marriage. They're thinking about it very differently than we are. And I think it's far more functional, and when we're looking at things and we're only looking at ourselves, my generation, this rugged independence and whatever, I don't really think, even if you don't care about the rest of the community, you should care about, your bloodline, your genes, your kids and grandkids and great grandkids and whatever, and building for them. Unlike, for a lot of us, our great grandparents and stuff, they didn't build for us. Or they tried and then, they got hit with one of the millions of things that hit Black Americans. Fine. Right. And so we should be thinking about our great grandkids. What we are building now, right? Not just as far as the amount of money or companies or whatever that we could build, but what we're building now as far as, a strong foundation of marriages, of interconnectedness, of knowing the right people. And so we can build that for our kids, and we can be the great grandparents that we wish we had had, that we should have had, that if we had we would be way further along, way faster. You know what I mean? But like, we don't think about it like that.
Yeah. Well, Jack is a mess, and I enjoyed him tonight. Thank you so much for contributing to the show from your male view. I enjoyed it. It was interesting and very entertaining.
Very. Yes,
Ain't
you're
that
right.
the truth?
Okay.
So,
And-
so my notice on that is everything I said on here. 95% of it is true. 5% is fluff. Now you got to figure out what that 5% is.
Okay, I think I know what part it is, but regardless, it's your opinion and you are entitled to it. That's one
Mhm.
thing about over here.
At least he's entertaining when he says it, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
very.
Mhm.
And thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Um, I know you guys weren't out there because not all. Let me see. It's a lot of states that didn't have snow, right? No, we don't have it here in Illinois, but a lot of places didn't have snow. But you were at home, social distancing and all that kind of stuff. So I do appreciate that you guys did tune in tonight. And we have one more show for the year, and it'll be next Friday. Um, I'll just make it 9:30 as normal, Central Standard Time, and we're gonna ring in all the time zones. So we'll be going for a little while, and it'll be an interesting show, I must say. We have a lot of bells and whistles, and probably, hopefully, not as many glitches as we had tonight. But if the glitches do,
Mhm.
come, they just come. I can't stop it. It's just
Mhm.
that type of year. But
Oh
thank
boy.
you guys so much. I do appreciate it. You all stay safe. That's
Oh,
another thing.
before everybody leave, I got one last bit.
Yes.
If y'all want, y'all can come over to the channel, the Spades Table, and you got to check out the upload. I don't know what number it is, but it's called the Moving Boxes. You can't miss it. It's got the thumbnail with the moving boxes, but that story is 100% true.
All
Oh,
right.
okay.
I
We'll have to
definitely gonna
check
check it
that
out.
out.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Now
Thank you so much.
you're gonna think even worse of me, but hey, that story is 100% true.
Oh, I ain't worried about that. I know
Right?
you now. I know you now.
Mhm. Those are I trust me, I couldn't think worse. No, I'm kidding.
All
There are
right,
no
all
surprises.
right. You say that. We'll see each other next week. Hear what you got to say.
All right. This sounds good.
All right.
All
Merry
right.
Christmas, everybody.
All right,
Thank
Merry
you.
Same to you.
Christmas.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe and hope to see everybody Friday. And until then, peace.
Cheers, y'all.
Peace out, family.